Head into the unknown, down the rabbit hole, where it stops no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hello, hello, hello. What's up, what's up, what's up?
Hey, long time no
Hi,
see.
everybody, again. I know some of you guys might not have been here earlier, but, you know, if you missed it, you got to watch that replay because that was an amazing, amazing live, great information. Hi,
That was
Jeannie.
so
Hi,
fun.
Lilbit. Hi, Joe. Hi, Jane Doe. Hi, Natasha. Queen Bee. Hi, Sleuth. Positive Vibes. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Sherry. I missed
Hey,
anybody?
Teresa, you remember
Hi,
who had the
Twisted
brilliant
Gemini.
idea to do that? Just
That was
wondering.
definitely Christine. She's the brilliant one. Hi, Pepperminty. Hi, Ava. Hi, Kat.
Worth the wait.
Hi, Chrissy.
Hi,
And
Mallory.
then we have the lovely Mallory who hopped up here with us.
Hello.
So we can go over all the newest stuff that's happening today. It's gonna be interesting. It's because I don't think it's gonna be very much information, obviously, because it's just an extradition hearing. But I mean, I'm still very curious to see what we do get to see, if that makes sense.
Did you see the picture of him already?
I did. Here, let me.
Sleuth Investigates has her facts straight today. I'm just kidding.
Christine is the brains of this operation.
I'm just kidding.
I hope that doesn't mean that I'm the looks, because we're in trouble. Mallory, you want to be the looks? That's Michelle, huh? Michelle can be the looks.
Yeah, she's the looks.
She's a looker.
It's really hard to be the brain and bring all the jokes. You can have that job back, Teresa.
Oh, I can have the jokes. Thanks.
Yeah, you do it. No, you can't do the jokes.
Oh, I don't get the jokes. I get the brains part back. That part's exhausting. That's why we asked Mallory to come on, because she's definitely the brains of the operation over here. The hearing starts at noon. I know that WFLA is going to be covering it, so we're going to watch a little bit of him, but I just thought we could kind of go through the Twitters and see. Now I sound like Jen Liu, the Twitters, and see what they have to say. You're all beautiful. Stop. All of you guys are so pretty.
Don't we have somebody like in our group that's like really great at the Twitters?
Yeah, we do. She's in our chat right now too.
Is it Sleuth?
Sleuth? Uh-huh.
Yeah, I thought so. And every time I ask, I want her to help me. I just want somebody to go in and follow all the people that I find interesting for me. So I can just like start off.
I think you could hit a follow button pretty easily.
Well, then I have to go find, like you.
Hi, Marshall.
I have to go find all the news channels and stuff. I just want somebody to set it up.
I just want somebody to set it all up. Okay, let's see. So I don't know if I can. Let's see. Can I make that bigger?
Says Criminality, who had her Twitter set up for her, probably. Okay.
I did not. My Twitter is all on my own. That's why there's not much to it. I did it all by myself. And my TikToks. I did that all by myself too.
You did?
Mine's my personal Twitter, so that's my issue. And I've had it since 2009.
Be like that sometimes.
Yeah, I think my account's pretty old. This isn't even signed in on my actual account. This is just like generic, because my wrong browser, so it doesn't have my info saved over here on this browser. but whatever. I'm not worried about it because I'm going to have my new computer set up. So I'll set it all up over there.
You just have to get everything first.
No kidding. Okay, so you guys, I got this beautiful desktop computer, and I was like telling Brittany, I'm like, I'm gonna go on your channel. I'm gonna test out my new computer. It is a Windows computer, but it's beautiful, and I love it. And so I go to go on her stream, and I realize that desktop computers don't have microphones and cameras because I've used a laptop for the last like 15 years. So I was like, well, crap, I've got to get like a camera and I've got to get a microphone. So I get one.
Wait,
and
we could hear you.
I go to use it and I realize I can't hear anybody because I don't have any flipping speakers.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
And my husband's like, did you seriously not even like pay attention to like what you were doing? And I'm like, no, I just was so excited to have this beautiful new computer that I didn't even think about it. And because my laptop does all of that for me.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
I did see ATS post, yeah.
What's ATS post?
I can't lie. I spent probably about an hour last night looking through every clip and photo of that visual, trying to see if I could see Dum.
So the Washington State University PhD student was arrested, blah, blah, blah. We all know that. It took authorities nearly 7 weeks. We know that. He was taken into custody during an early morning raid. We know that. We know that he was studying. So basically this just gives us this picture of him. Creep. God, he looks creepy, dude. And it's so weird because like his older friends have like been posting like pictures of him from back in the day and he just looks more normal. Like,
can you make that picture bigger? I want to see.
Which one? This one?
Too little. Like, yeah, in the red jumpsuit.
Well, there's a few of them, so no, because it's on Twitter. I can't make it bigger.
I sent it to us this morning, T.
Okay, hold on.
He looks like the bug guy from Men in Black. You know which one?
Oh, yes.
The guy that drives the bug thing at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So did you guys hear? So there was that whole thing with the that supposed female inmate that came out and said he like exposed himself to her and blah blah blah. That all came out as not real. It was a different inmate.
Yeah, Brian Ensign, I think, came out and said it wasn't him.
Okay. Yeah, it didn't sound like his weird personality.
No, he's definitely more of the fetal position on the floor staring at the wall type of person.
I agree. Okay, hold on.
He looks even scarier now.
We're so exhausted from that last stream. Me and Teresa are like, go ahead, Mallory, take it away.
I just
go ahead now.
Well, technically I didn't. I went into the frozen tundra, but we're getting a nice blizzard. We've already got about 3 inches. Oh
God, he is weird looking. You guys go blow that picture up. Go Google it yourself because you can't tell from that.
I'm just saving him on my computer so that I can blow it up.
God, he does look like that bug guy. I'm gonna pull up the picture of the bug guy. Hold on. Totally worth it. One sec, guys. I'm coming with the jokes.
That's why she gave me back the brain so she could bring the funny.
Oh my Jesus.
3. Okay, hold on. I'm just save them real quick. Okay.
There he is. Look at him. That's him. Do you have the picture, Teresa? God,
I'm about to pull it up. Hold on.
Oh goodness. I wish I could do a side by side.
I can send you the pic and then you can do a side by side. There he is.
Zoom it in. Get
I'm
in his face. That's the picture I just showed you. Hold on. Stop it. Oh my God. I have to do a side by side, right? Meow. Hold on. Oh,
so
God,
C-Dub, hi C-Dub. C-Dub said YouTube now lets iPhone subs zoom in on videos and lives. Oh, really? Well, that's interesting. I guess I won't get to experience that. Hi, True Crime Crazy. Have I seen the video of them getting him out of the van and walking him in? I haven't seen it on video, but yeah. Oh, Jen Lou's gonna roast the crap out of this piece of crap, and he deserves 10 times worse than that. Hi, Valerie. Hi, BPD.
Do you have the other one of him looking into the camera? Yeah, that one. Ugh. Not that one, the up one. Yeah. Ah.
Dude.
Wait, which one are you guys looking at? Hold on.
He's scary.
Oh my goodness. This guy's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, he's got a vest on. They ain't taking any chances. And you should hear the people were screaming at him too. They're like, Brian, did you
so I'm sure there's probably audio. There's probably a video of it on Twitter somewhere, right?
There is. Yeah. Hang on. I'll see if I can send it to you.
Okay. Because I like literally got up and got prepared for that other live. And so I'm kind of behind on some of the.
Yeah, literally.
Let's see. Commissioner, hold a news conference today to discuss the apprehension. Okay, hold on. The commissioner of the Pennsylvania State Police, Major Christopher Paris, Area 3 Commander of State Police, and Monroe County District Attorney E. David Christine Jr. will hold a news conference today to discuss the apprehension of Brian C. Koberger. Koberger was taken into custody early Friday by members of Troop N and the Special Emergency Response Team at a home in Chestnut Hill Township in Monroe County in connection to the homicides of 4 University of Idaho students. The press conference will be available via live stream and by satellite. So it'll be at 4:30 p.m. today, which would be Eastern time. So 1:30 our time. State Police to hold the news conference on the apprehension. I wonder what they're going to tell us. That's interesting. Let's see if I can pull that up.
There you go. There you go, T. I just sent it.
Okay. It says it'll be available at this website, but I can't get on the website. Oh, here's the link. Okay.
You guys.
He does not look like him.
Look at his stupid face.
Oh, shoot. That was you. I thought I was removing me, but I removed you.
Okay, everybody put a 1 in chat if you think that he looks like him. One's the only option, though.
Hi, hybrid Pisces. Okay, let me go back over here and see.
He doesn't look like that. Yes, he does. One. Well, they weren't given any other options.
They weren't given any other options.
One just after a shower.
Now we know he's an alien. He's a bug. What did they call them? They called him I don't think they just said termites on that movie. I love that movie. I want to watch that.
It's my mom's favorite movie.
Okay.
That's a good
Pause,
one.
please.
Poor Vincent. All right. Larms.
Is that what it is? Is Larms?
No, that's the person. He's the person. Larms.
Parasite.
That's the name said. Poor Vincent. Frio.
I don't want that.
Parasite. That's right. That's what they called him on the movie. Parasites.
I think I have it on this one. Yeah, this is it. Okay, let's go over this. You guys see that?
Well,
No.
You're not sharing it.
Oh, well, I shared it. I just never put it up here.
Oh.
Of
Yeah.
course. Okay, here we go.
Why did you do it? Why did you do it? Are you ready to go to Idaho? Why did you do it? You want to try to Pennsylvania, Brian?
Y'all, that's not my microphone. That's the video. I already know I'm going to get blamed for that. It's the video.
Marion County 911. Is anybody experiencing flu-like or COVID-19 symptoms? No, somebody's shooting in my.
What are we listening to?
I don't know.
Just went to like
Teresa's at the
another
helm.
video. I think somebody asked him how he's doing.
Why did you do it? How are you feeling? How's it going, Brian? Why did you do it? Are you ready to go to Idaho? Why did you do it? You want to try to Pennsylvania, Brian?
Yeah, it's definitely raining there.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
Yeah, why do they? How you feeling? That's kind of weird, no?
I think it's more of a maybe if I talk nice to you, you'll answer me.
And then WFLA moved their stream to 12:10. I wonder why.
JB's busy.
Yeah, he's busy. All right, let's see what else is on Twitter. Let's see what else is on the Twitters. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay, so I'll be interested to see the press conference that they have about arresting him. I wonder what that's going to be about. I mean, obviously we know what it's going to be about, but I wonder like what they're actually going to even say. Wonder what that's going to be about.
This is a mystery.
Allegedly tried to expose himself. Okay, so that we found out that's not true. I don't know, not expected to fight extradition. We know that. Brian Kohberger's family is shocked, believes that police nabbed the wrong man.
Of course they do. Do you guys think they'll fly him
anyone?
back or drive him back?
I think they'll drive
because
him.
the weather. Really?
Oh, you do? I was thinking they would drive him.
See, I thought they weren't because there's too many open-ended possibilities if they're driving.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's
Letitia
far, so they may
fucked
fly.
him up. Even Letitia could fuck him up on the drive, so maybe they.
I'm curious to know. He made me lose my thought, though.
They should have drove Lori back from Hawaii.
They should have drove her back. Just stuck her in the car. Monroe County Chief Public Defender said they're obviously shocked. This is certainly completely out of character. The allegations, and really they're just trying to be supportive with the understanding that these 4 families have suffered loss. Told him that he believes the mass murder will be found not guilty. He believes he's going to be exonerated. That's what he believes. Those are his words. He's been very easy to talk to. He has a very calm demeanor. Huh.
His family don't like him either. Me and Teresa know that.
Yeah, I'm thinking his extended family is not a big fan of him at all.
No.
Did you send Mallory the That thing. It's a secret, guys.
What
I don't know
thing?
what I'm sending, Mallory.
Well, now I don't want to say it because I don't want to look like I'm a creeper, but I am. So I looked
Oh
up
no,
this
I haven't sent anybody
obituary.
that. No, yeah, no, I haven't sent it to anybody.
Well,
don't you guys all
people-
pretend like you didn't look him up all night too.
Well, I think that people who know me know that I like to do like genealogy stuff. So obviously in genealogy, you look at a lot of obituaries, and that's kind of how it helps you to build a tree around that. So I started working on a family tree of his last night with the help of
There was
Christine.
a whole entire obituary that listed like everybody in his family except him.
Except him. It was kind of weird.
Like,
There's
except
somebody who passed away, and he's not listed as a relative, but his mom,
in
dad, and sisters are.
2020.
Yeah,
It
makes
was weird.
sense.
So we found that very interesting. Like, why in the world would they not list him, but everybody else?
And we know they don't have his name wrong because he had an NCIS or NCIC or whatever it's called hit that it said on the paperwork that they did show us. That they verified it from the NCIC hit.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's see. You guys got to be careful out there with all this stuff going around. What I just sent to T, did you see that?
No, let me see.
Someone took a
Somebody say
screenshot.
something about his religion? What does his religion have to do with it?
No, someone did up in the chat.
Well, some people think that he might be Jewish, but I don't. I honestly have no idea. I have not seen anything that would point to that. Like in
they all look like
genealogy
Italian
side
or
of
something
things,
to me.
but pretty sure that it's his last name is German.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see.
They sure knocked his nose crooked, huh?
Did one of didn't he go to a Catholic school though?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it even, to me, it really doesn't matter, but just his name is not, it's not a Jewish name. So, I mean, he could be Jewish on his mom's side, but I don't think it really, I don't think that plays into anything that's
it literally doesn't matter.
Learning more about his upbringing and whatnot is the only reason that it would, matter. But if he goes to a Catholic school, Danish.
Do I think he was corresponding with BTK? I don't know if I think he was like directly corresponding with them, but I definitely think he probably studied him a lot. I don't know.
I think he tried, but BTK probably was like, nah.
Well, I think he probably feels like he did because of his professor or because the person he worked under. That because she had talked to him so much, I'm sure she uses that, a lot in her lectures and what she talks about. And so I think he probably feels connected in some weird way to a lot of these people, and I don't
think he's going to get like his thesis research paper published in a journal. And
I would be very curious. I would be very curious if he did try to have his thesis published.
They pulled his one for his master's. They pulled it out of their library.
That kind of sucks. I wish I could have seen it.
I looked in like the school's online library, and it's pulled there. And I've heard people have tried to go look for it at the actual library, and it's gone there too.
LA now will begin momentarily.
Ooh, we get to see JB.
I love JB too.
I love JB.
God,
I just like to look at him too.
You like to look at him.
He's so cocky. Like he's just so full of himself that it's
he's so good at what he does. He should be cocky.
Yeah.
He's like on it. He knows exactly. He's very good with his timing. He's very good with his questions. The guy's on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig it.
He does have a good voice too.
I feel bad though. I'm like, the guy's got to be exhausted half the time.
Yeah. I mean, at least he doesn't stream at home, because a lot of times when they get to these like streaming type of situations, they'll go live wherever they are.
I think it's so funny anytime they put him up with Brian Enton, because Brian Enton just always looks so bored at him. Like, oh God, here we go again.
Well, it's funny because like Brian's like, this guy gets to sit here and just do whatever he wants in studio, and I have to go out in the freezing cold. Okay, here we go. Let's
on
get it.
WFLA now. Here is
Hey,
JB
JB.
Buno.
Hashtag hey JB.
The suspect in the Idaho student murders arrives
Listen to
in
that.
Pennsylvania
Warm
court
butter.
where his public defender says he'll be waiving extradition to answer to the 4 first-degree murder charges in Idaho. We are live from the Pennsylvania courthouse.
Oh,
with the very
CW probably
latest
very much
here
is,
on
but
WFLA
I don't want to hang out with them.
now. Hello
like,
there to you
date
folks.
him, so I'm
JB
good.
alongside WFLA's Josh Benson here on the right side of your screen. Here
Tell me
now
things I
live
need
with
to know,
feeds to
JB.
show you. In fact, let's go live. We don't want anyone to miss this. This is the one camera shot that we have, the pool feed from inside the courthouse. Again, we are awaiting Brian Kohberger, the lone suspect in the Idaho student murders. Now, as we understand it, what is going to happen here in a short time from now, this door will open when members of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office deputies will escort Kohberger from the room, the holding area where he's currently being held, into the courtroom for, again, this initial extradition hearing. He is reportedly, through his public defender, going to be waiving extradition, which will pave the way for a speedy process as far as getting him back to back to Idaho, to answer to the 4 first-degree murder charges. So this is live here on your screen. Also want to let you know as well, with the hearing coming up at 3:30 Eastern time, Pennsylvania State Police have called a 4:30 press conference, a press conference that we do plan on carrying here on stream. So we're going to try to do this as a 2-for-1, if you will. 3:30, we'll bring you the very latest. We'll have coverage of the extradition hearing. And then at 4:30, we will take you live to Pennsylvania State Police headquarters, where we are expected to hear the very latest from investigators, again, in the apprehension of Idaho murder suspect Brian Kohberger. So we had the video a short time ago, and it's been, of course, on social media, the video of him arriving at the courthouse earlier today. Since then, it's believed that he has been in this holding area, and ahead of the 3:30 court hearing, he will, of course, be escorted from this room into the courtroom. Now, the courtroom itself, as I bring in WFLA's Josh Benson, the courtroom itself, this was a little bit confusing yesterday, Josh, but the courtroom itself, there's no cameras permitted. That is
ADV, that's interesting.
of course, that is the rule of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, that there are no cameras permitted inside the courtroom, even though they are permitting the camera inside the courthouse, really in the hallway outside the courtroom itself.
Hallway, or is that
this is what we're looking at as far as the hallway. So if they were to zoom all the way out, you would see a long hallway. This is not a very big courthouse, as I understand it. So this is what we're waiting on here as far as Kohberger's arrival. We'll go here live full screen and continue to monitor our comments here on YouTube Live, and we're about to launch on Facebook Live as well.
And I think everybody is talking about this thinking there's going to be something super interesting out of this hearing, but as far as I'm understanding, it's more of a formality. If he waives extradition, then, as you said, it's kind of speed up the process. If he didn't and he decided to fight it, that would be a little more suspect and would take a longer amount of time to get the process in order to get him back to Idaho. So I don't think we're going to see much today, and especially, as you said, we're not going to have the cameras in the courtroom, so we're really not going to see much at all. But it is interesting. The police department's going to have that news conference, so I'm anxious to hear from them, because the video today was the first time we saw him.
I have it ready on the touch screen. We can come back to this shot if we need be. This is the video from News Nation earlier on today. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office, their vehicle arriving, and personnel getting out of their vehicle, opening up the door. And I believe the lone prisoner transport was for Brian Kohberger. We'll see him here. And I'm keeping an eye, folks, on the hallway shot. If there is anything out of the hallway shot, we will go to it. Here is Kohberger in the red-orange jumpsuit, being taken into the courthouse.
And there was a lot of officers around there. If you look behind the van, I mean, they had probably 10, 12, 15 officers out there for that kind of that walk that he had there. So that was interesting to watch.
So again, his public defender has met with him reportedly several times and has indicated that he will be waiving his extradition to Idaho, and that the chief public defender for Monroe County also saying that he is looking forward to being exonerated. And, Josh, you and I were talking a little bit about this earlier. While the court of law, this is very much innocent until proven guilty. In the court of public opinion online, the belief out there, if you talk to people online, the belief out there is that this is the person responsible. People, of course, who have been paying very close attention to this story since day one. But again, as a reminder to our audience, court of law, innocent until proven guilty. So we have a suspect in the case, but the suspect, of course, is going to be doing everything that he can to prove his innocence. He has not confessed to the crime. He is reportedly telling his public defender that he is willing to be extradited to the state of Idaho to answer to these charges. And he is not going to be fighting extradition. And so we should find out really in the days ahead as to what the extradition process is going to look like. How quickly is he going to make it back to Idaho? And then, of course, the big thing, getting the arrest affidavit.
Everybody's waiting to see that, because that's going to detail out exactly why they think they have the person in this crime. And I think you said it. I think people are very anxious, in these types of cases that get a lot of publicity. And, the media, we cover this story in depth, as you know, as does a lot of the news agencies around the country and around the world. So it gets a ton of attention. And so when you see him and pictures of him, it's easy for a lot of people at home to say, hey, this guy did it. You got to be careful, though, in this case, to say this guy has charges all over, but has not been convicted yet. And this is what the process is about. So I think
I know.
It's so easy to look at someone and want some justice for a case as horrific as this one, and want to put a name with a face and say that person did it. But until we have, the charging documents, the affidavit, and obviously the finality to whatever happens in this case. Look, they don't even have a murder weapon yet, correct? Right. I don't think they even have the murder weapon, which is a big piece of this puzzle as well. So I think you hit it on the head that people got to really be careful to say this guy isn't guaranteed to be the guy who did it, but he does have 4 first-degree murder charges on his back. So that doesn't look very good either.
Paying attention to your hashtag Hey Josh, hashtag Hey JB questions and comments. And we'll, as we await for this door opening, we'll go to some of the comments coming in on YouTube Live. If you use a hashtag on your screen, folks, hashtag Hey JB or hashtag Hey Josh, we can animate your comments on screen. And Mary says, we were told by Fry that, of course, being the Moscow, Idaho police chief, that they have the guy. And of course, they are expressing a lot of confidence in Idaho that they have evidence, but we don't know what that evidence looks like just yet.
Hey,
we
Patricia.
won't know what the evidence looks like
Spicy
until the
sugar.
arrest affidavit comes out and is made public. And even then, the arrest affidavit, we don't know how much of that information is going to be redacted. You hope that most of the information is available for public view and for for us as reporters to dissect. But as of right now, there isn't any concrete evidence that has been made public. But of course, the investigators behind this case, the Moscow, Idaho Police Department, very confident that they have the person responsible, even though we have Brian Kohberger, who says that he is looking forward to clearing his name when he answers to the charges in Idaho.
And something new today, the family spoke out that we finally got to hear from them.
Yeah, I know that. I'm going to watch that.
And Jason Labar is the Monroe County Public Defender representing Brian at this time. He says in a statement today to NBC, he says they don't believe it to be Brian. They can't believe this. They're obviously shocked. This is certainly completely out of character, the allegations, and really they're just trying to be supportive of their son. So they're as shocked as everyone else. And to think of a family, getting that phone call to say, hey, we think your son did this. Can you imagine being in their seat? I mean, it's unbelievable. So they are, as we were told yesterday, they're going to be in the courtroom for this hearing today. That's coming up at 3:30. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see it, but they were going to be in the courtroom, as was, I believe, one of the victims' fathers. Did you hear that yesterday? I think one of the victims' fathers is going to be in the courtroom as well.
Gonzalez is going to be there, and he says that he wants to stare at Kohberger and let him know that that they are there and that they are going to make their presence felt in the courtroom. As once we have this door open up, we will listen in. It'll be interesting. I'm not sure if Kohberger will be escorted past the camera or if he will turn, because it'd be very interesting. I would imagine it's more likely than not that he's going to remain silent. He's not going to say anything to the cameras, but if he sees
they're definitely going to walk him in front of the cameras.
Right. That's what you would think.
They usually do.
That's what they,
in cases like this, they want everybody to see the person they got.
It's a modern day perp walk.
The perp walk, for sure.
The modern day perp walk.
Now, this is explain to what this door is. Do we know? Is this where he's being held, or is this into the courtroom? Or
this is believed to be the holding area. So
okay, where he's being held.
Yes, and you can see that we have had several.
Oh, it is almost.
All right, here's the door opening.
There it is.
Here is Brian Koberger. Let's listen in.
I'll do what I know. Just me. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, David Gammon, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. But if it gives Steve some type of,
It was pretty uneventful.
you know,
His walk.
Oh, we didn't
say
him.
much.
didn't say much. They didn't say anything.
Didn't say anything.
Thanks, Josh.
So now this is the only spot that the media can set up. Is that right?
Can you go back?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So okay. So let's
For
explain.
me, I think I might just.
Did he
All
say
right,
we're
let's
going to get
explain
audio of
exactly
the hearing
what
at all, or
happens
no?
From this point forward now, JB.
I don't
Josh
believe
Benson
so. There's
with you
no
on the left
microphones
and
or
right side
cameras
of your
allowed in
screens,
there, and no live
respectively.
tweeting.
So here's how this is
either.
going to work. What just happened was Brian Koberger was
Okay.
transported from the holding area into the courtroom, where now the extradition hearing is going to begin in approximately 5 minutes time. Of course, he arriving about 5 minutes ahead of the 3:30 scheduled start time on the docket in Pennsylvania court. So you would imagine that it's going to start relatively on time. Of course, what will happen, as we understand that the process looks like this. The judge will confirm that he is waiving his extradition. There will be a paperwork component. I'm not sure if the paperwork component is going to happen in the courtroom, where he's going to write and finally, sign, in essence, his waiver to waive extradition, or if that is going to happen in a separate area. But this is where basically the judge is going to confirm that he is waiving his extradition out of the state of Pennsylvania, where he was apprehended, and of course, waive his extradition to the state of Idaho. We will follow along now with the reporters that are inside the courtroom itself. I spoke with Pennsylvania court officials on the phone yesterday to get a little bit more as to what this was going to be like, and they said, "Look, it's not the biggest courtroom, it's not the biggest courthouse. So what it was going to look like was it's a first come first served basis for people, for reporters, members of the media, and members of the public to go in there and sit down. So I'm not entirely sure
there's
who's
a lot
in.
of media there.
Yeah, I would imagine that there was a lot of interest as far as getting a spot.
But as for so no cameras in the courtroom whatsoever, no pool camera, no nothing, and you can only have it in the lobby. Is that what you understand?
Yes, the pool camera itself. So this is the pool camera feed.
Okay.
And the next time this feed is going to be relevant to us is when Koberger is coming out.
Right.
And when Koberger comes out, we will know, of course, the hearing is over. And I don't believe, if I remember correctly, I have the rules, basically the Pennsylvania Supreme Court rules in my inbox here. And I don't believe that live tweeting is permitted.
In the courtroom by journalists?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'll read this here.
Do they have to give up their phones?
So then how will we know?
The court prohibits the taking of photographs, video, or motion pictures of any judicial proceedings or in the hearing room or courtroom during the judicial proceedings. Here's the part that I find interesting. Additionally, the court prohibits the transmission of communications by telephone, radio, television, or advanced communication technology from the hearing room or the courtroom during the process of or in connection with any judicial proceedings, whether or not the court session. Which basically,
so it's going to be all hearsay.
The court prohibits transmission of communications from telephone or
and
advanced.
If you do it, you could get kicked out of court.
Right. So
contempt.
If they are enforcing there are no phones.
Journalist job.
Yeah, because then you have to come. Who knows? I have been to courtrooms where they'll take your phone. They'll say, "Look,
oh sure,
yeah."
They don't mess. The judge doesn't
mess around. No, it's like this is the rules of this building. No phones past this point, and so it's kind of radio silence.
Oh, and Brian Enton from News Nation, he's obviously there. He says going in the courtroom now. Cameras and live tweeting is not allowed,
Right,
but
there
we'll
you go.
update here and on News Nation when it ends. Hearing set to start at 3:30. So yeah, 2 minutes away from what should be the start of this. But yeah, no live tweeting. So we're all gonna just have to wait.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna take this one
This is
down
a good
then,
opportunity.
and we can watch some of the other stuff.
Okay.
Because I want to watch. I know Steve did an interview. Oh, hold on. What you got, girl? You got something good? What you find?
This is just that reporter that's so good at the solves.
Oh God. Is this the clip?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
because JB was breaking it down for us, all the obvious points. So
Right.
yeah, so this girl's really good, guys. Watch her break this down.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh wait, hold on.
Remember,
I have to
Christine's
take my-
got the jokes today, so you gotta go with it.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Shoot, never mind. I can't play it because something's wrong with my computer speakers.
Uh-oh. Hi, Kate does cry.
And I can't have my Bluetooth in and play it for you at the same time.
So you can give them the gist of what she says. So
No, I can't.
We were like,
either.
man, we could totally do this job if this is what it takes. Because, and I don't remember what the context was of the conversation, but she basically says, so either this guy was waiting inside the house for them to come home, or he came in after they got there.
So what
Giving
that
all
tells
the
us
options.
is that he was either waiting inside, laying in wait before they got home, or on the other side, he came in afterwards. Like, oh,
we were
shit.
like, really?
There goes my chimney
Those are the
theory.
only two options we get there, huh? Oh, what a surprise. I was like, I wonder how much this chick gets paid for that kind of content, because I could totally come on YouTube and do that. All right, hold on. I want to find Steve's. Does anybody have it handy?
Which
Because I know
one?
he talked this morning, so
I can try and find it. Hang on.
okay, I'm
I
looking
can't play
too.
anything. I hate when people call me and don't leave a message. Like, I don't want to talk to you.
Have you not
So
seen the
let me
commercials?
know.
You're not supposed to leave a message. You're just supposed to send a text.
I mean, yeah, like don't call me and then like don't ghost call me. If you're gonna call me, please just leave a message and I'll call. I mean, if it's something that I want to talk about, I'll call you right back. Not a big deal.
Oh, Steve says he's going to be waiting in Idaho, so I don't think he's actually going to be there. Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
Let me
that's what I
pull the-
thought.
Well, I remember he said that he made the comment that he was going to. Oh, that's not what I want. That he was going to make sure he looked him in the eye.
I think he meant in Idaho, like he was going to be at every court hearing in Idaho.
Yeah, I think that's it too. Okay, so here, let me pull this up. There's got to be a faster way to add crap to the screen, man.
I got the video of his family too showing up.
Oh, you do? Okay, send that over and we can watch that too.
Okay.
Well, really, it is Monday, January 2nd. This is News Nation Rush Hour, and we start with some brand new details in the shocking arrest and the quadruple murder of 4 college students that's gripped the country. We've been covering it closely from Moscow since the very beginning, and then that major breaking news Friday, an arrest in the case 47 days later. Brian Koberger, a graduate student studying criminology at Washington State University, just a 10-minute drive from the University of Idaho campus. He was taken into custody in Pennsylvania. His extradition hearing is scheduled for tomorrow. And we're learning more about his studies under a serial killer expert and a treasure trove of
Is this not the
evidence
right
from his
video?
apartment.
What the hell?
But first, and new just into our newsroom, the father of one of the
Oh, here we go.
victims, Kaylee Gonzalez,
This is yesterday.
breaking his silence on this arrest.
Yeah.
The senior national correspondent Brian Enton, who joins us live from Pennsylvania. So, Brian, what did he tell you?
Yeah, Nicole, I just wrapped up this conversation with Kaylee's dad, Stephen. Still heartbroken, but said initially when they learned about the arrest, they were the first to learn about it from police late Thursday night that the arrest was going to happen. They felt some relief. They even felt joy to a certain extent. But now the feeling is just being overwhelmed, knowing that the court process is about to begin and that they are going to see the accused killer face to face. Accused Idaho killer Bryan Kohberger could be in Idaho as early as tomorrow night after a hearing in Pennsylvania where Kohberger is expected not to fight his extradition.
There's going to be somebody there looking him in the face and letting him know that this isn't going away anytime soon. This is just the beginning.
Victim Kaylee Gonzalez's father, Steve, says they are looking for connections between Kohberger and Kaylee and the other victims.
I'm biased, but if you got to know my daughter, I would think it'd be impossible for you to hurt her. So I think a little bit of us all kind of felt like this was somebody who didn't have a chance to meet her, talk to her, get to know her, because she was a very likable person and she didn't have a mean bone in her body. So I think there's a little comfort in knowing that this person wasn't somebody she trusted and loved.
Kohberger's public defender tells News Nation in mid-December Bryan's dad drove back with him from Pullman, Washington to Monroe County, Pennsylvania in the white Hyundai Elantra police have been looking for. His attorney says Kohberger is eager to be exonerated. I'm a reporter.
Get off my property. It's private property.
Kohberger's family did not answer when I went to their house where he was arrested, but released a statement through the public defender saying they're cooperating with law enforcement. And first and foremost, we care deeply for the four who have lost their precious children. There are no words that can adequately express the sadness we feel, and we pray each day for them. We will continue to let the legal process unfold, and as a family, we will love and support our son and brother. Before moving to Washington State University to get his PhD, Kohberger got his master's from DeSales University in Pennsylvania. News Nation has obtained this photo of Kohberger taken during a group project at DeSales University in 2019. Students who studied with him tell News Nation they've been told to only talk to police because they could potentially be called as character witnesses in the case. They did say he was, quote, controlling during the group project.
What do you make, Steve, of the fact that, you know, he was getting his PhD in criminal justice and had his master's in criminology, and sort of had this knowledge of the way the system works?
I feel like he definitely was into this type of thing. He had made a lifetime commitment to, you know, wrapping himself into crime and solving crime and figuring out how people got caught, interviewing people, doing different things that a normal student wouldn't be so interested in. So I think he maybe got a little overconfident and didn't realize that there really is no perfect way to commit a crime.
Okay, so tomorrow Kohberger will be in court in the courthouse behind me here in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. We expect him to waive.
Okay, so that I want the one from today, though.
What was it on?
Shit, I thought it was on News Nation, but
okay, hang on.
I could be wrong. I only saw it in passing when I was trying to get ready for the other stream. So just heard the hearing is done. Okay, let me check back in over here. And then we'll see what JB's got going on.
Definitely now, Josh Benson, Bryan Kohberger, the Idaho murder suspect. He is currently in the courtroom waiving his extradition, signing the paperwork necessary. What will then happen after that is he will be escorted here by court personnel, by members of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, I believe. They're going to be escorting him down the hallway back to his holding area. He will be transported back to the Pennsylvania Correctional Facility, awaiting his official transport. And I believe, of course, then it will be up to Idaho to arrange for transportation to bring him back to the state.
You know, it's interesting storylines too, is just what we see on social media, what everybody talks about in terms of, all right, how was he apprehended? How did they tail the car? You know, they found the car at the parents' house. That's something that came out today. The dad had traveled back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I don't see anything new there yet. So
there's some speculation on if they both, I think there was 2 tickets that they got pulled over twice on the way back. Now we're seeing some speculation that may have not happened from police. So we don't know the true story there just yet. But
he may not have been pulled over
you know, what
twice?
kind of inmate was he in the jail? I saw some things on social media saying, hey, you know, he was going crazy and he was threatening people. The Monroe County Correctional Facility warden came forward, I know, to CNN and said that he has been a model prisoner who has not caused any problems during his time in detention. That's according to a source familiar with Koberger's status at the facility. So this just kind of shows you that
Hi, Laura.
There's so much information out there and storylines that are happening so fast, and it's kind of tough to decipher like what really is happening in terms of, you know, what's true, what's false, and what do people want to believe.
Okay.
I think a lot of people out there think this is public enemy number one. Want to believe he's,
Hold on, Josh.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Ooh.
They tweeted already that he did waive his extradition. Thank you, Sleuth, for sending that.
So this is the court personnel preparing for this to be over with, and for him to now come back down the hallway. So we'll stay on this now full screen with audio fully up, but we'll try to listen in with everybody else watching wherever you're watching from once Koberger arrives down this hallway.
This building's closing up at 5.
Interesting how fascinated we all are with watching a guy walk back.
No, I was just thinking, you know, this Koberger's attorney, you know, he was on Today's Show this morning as well, and said in an interview, you know, he was shocked a little bit when he was arrested. Well, first of all, I'd be shocked a lot if I was ever arrested. But he was shocked a little bit, he said, and he believes he's going to be exonerated. This is what the attorney for Koberger said in an interview today. So along with what the family is saying, they're shocked to hear these allegations. They say this couldn't be our son. You know, these are things that are now coming out from the family and from Koberger himself. So it's until he gets back to Idaho and until we see some more evidence of what happened in this scenario to get him to be this number one suspect. You know, there's going to be a lot of storylines on social media. We just got to be careful about what we report and what we follow as truth.
Local assets, a good point.
Sleuthy Goosey. I'm paying attention to his comment
Goosey.
here. We're also trying to get ready for Koberger's next appearance in the hallway. Says hashtags both of us. The lawyer Labar says he got tickets, but he hadn't seen them, didn't know what they were. Indiana State Police say they have no record of stopping the Koberger. This is based on reporting by Fox News that on the trip in mid-December, on the trip home, Koberger and his father, according to Labar, the attorney, that they got pulled over twice in Indiana, and Indiana State Police saying that there was no record of them getting pulled over.
Is there no record of them getting pulled over, or did they not get a ticket for either stop?
That would mean, of course, that there weren't any tickets given.
Right.
But
they could have been pulled over and no tickets, and that's why there's
no Fox News. As all these as interviews are done and questions are asked, this is how we get information between now and the arrest affidavit being released. Right. We've got the audio up on full blast. We also have it full screen for you for, again, Brian Koberger exiting court.
Not yet.
Oh?
Yeah, they're right on time.
Oh, they're having way too much fun.
This is probably the most excitement they ever had.
Here we go.
You got bathrooms, they should be clear.
Departing.
Departing.
Yeah, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of officers with him. 9 guards. I didn't count them, but that looks about right. Sounds about right. Damn.
He's so freaking tall.
Well, so the ticket from Idaho says that he's 6 foot.
He looks taller than that, unless everyone in Pennsylvania is just short.
I don't know what happened with their feed, but all right, hold on. Then let me pull this one down. Oh, they're replaying it. Okay. And then let's see if I can pull this up. So, he's vegan, and I think Letitia Stout is vegan. And one of her biggest complaints in prison was that she can't get food prepared the right way. Shoot. I'm wondering how that's going to go. Okay. Let's see. Investigators hired by Brian Koberger's defense team arrived Tuesday at the home where he's accused of fatally stabbing 4 University of Idaho students. So does he already have a team in Idaho? That's interesting to me because he's not there yet. So they already assigned him somebody?
Well, and that's also weird because his family came out and said that they couldn't afford one in Idaho. So all of a sudden he already has a whole team.
He would get it. He would get public defenders.
And I've heard he hired an entire team.
Okay, Idaho State Trooper accompanied the group. The Idaho lawyer who is representing the accused mass murder hasn't been publicly identified. The fact that Brian Koberger's attorney has brought in private investigators to go throughout the crime scene leads me to believe that he is definitely going to mount a strong defense, said Fox News contributor Ted Williams, a former homicide detective. A cleaning crew arrived at the murder scene last Friday to clear some biohazards and harmful substances in preparation for turning the property over to the owner. But a press conference said that they stopped by a legal request of the court. And I do believe that happened when he went to his arraignment. I think that the attorneys in Pennsylvania and are probably just even the judge himself in Pennsylvania ordered it to be stopped. Because you notice that Chief Fry doesn't actually say that like an Idaho court did it. It says that it's just an order by the court, and I think it's from the Pennsylvania judge, making sure that his defense team was going to have the opportunity to go in. If he had been arrested the next week and it was already done, obviously there's nothing they could do. But
so Brian Enton's tweeting now.
Okay.
But it's only 1 of 3 so far.
Anything good?
Brian Koberger waived his extradition hearing. He had to sign a waiver in court. The judge explained to Koberger that the charges against him in Idaho and that he has voluntarily allowing authorities to transfer him to Idaho. That's 1 of 3.
All right, let me go back to Brian's Twitter. It's 1 of 3. Oh, he hasn't even done the other ones yet.
I know.
Okay. Let's see what else we got going on in here. I want to find that one of Steve. Has anybody been able to find that yet?
Oh, I stopped looking. Sorry, hang on.
Oh, you're good. I'll show this one. This is the family. This is Brian's family arriving at the courthouse. Sleuth just sent me.
The second video that I sent you.
Okay, this is the one Sleuth sent me. So let me pull this one up first.
I'll tell you, because one of them has a better vantage point, or you can actually see them close up.
There's got to be an easier way to switch through these. I'm hoping that my new computer, I'll be able to figure that out, because it's so hard to, like, you have to take it down and then like put up the new thing.
This is the side I wanted.
This is the side you wanted me to look at?
Yeah.
Oh, see, Sluice is on it. She knows. Hold on. That's them right there?
Yep, right there in the black.
Oh, that's the sister.
And then his
Is that
dad.
the sister and the mom?
Looking like
there's his dad.
He's going fishing.
Wait, so one sister, the mom, and the dad?
I swear someone walked in a lot earlier, though, because someone gets out of the car and then...
Okay, hold on. That's a sister and a mom and a dad.
Yeah, but like way before this, on the other view, you can see that someone gets out of the car like way before all of them and walks up, and it's female. And then about 30 seconds later is when they get out. I'm telling you guys, his dad dressed up for court.
Yeah, mom won't show her face. It's kind of sad. But yeah, I'm not making any determinations on this family at all yet, because I think that they very well could be the family that's like, holy crap, what the hell? Or they, could know something else. I don't have any idea yet. So right now I'm going to err on the side of, as Christine likes to say, I'm going to err on the side of kindness and just go, these people are in total shock that this is their life right now.
Mm-hmm.
Until something changes.
His dad is super tall. Here's one from last night, T. Tyler just sent that one to me.
Okay, let me look. Take this down.
This is from NBC from last night.
I swear there was one from this morning, but maybe I didn't. Maybe that's not. I'm just making stuff up.
Christine, go.
She's awful quiet. Did she leave the screen? I can't. The stream.
Yeah.
The screen. Okay. Christine, where'd you go? Did you message me? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, especially that he didn't do. Imagine going through everything and in your mind thinking that your son's being accused of something. So not only that, oh, she's making lunch.
Oh, okay. I'm hungry too. Make me something.
Yeah, I had egg bite.
Okay, now I don't even know what I just pulled up. That's the lawyer. What's this one?
Pennsylvania jail hours away from an extradition hearing that could send him back to Idaho, where police say he killed 4 college students. Family members of the victims, Madison Mogan, Zana Colonel, Ethan Chapin, and Kaylee Gonzalez, now bracing for the moment they may come face to face with the prime suspect in court. Tonight, we spoke with Kaylee's father, Steve.
Do you want to see this suspect with your own eyes?
Yes, definitely. I want this guy to get, whoever this person that was responsible for this, I want him to be sick of seeing us and sick of knowing that these people won't let it go.
Steve Gonzalez says the family had never heard of Kohberger until the arrest and says he's relieved to see the progress in the case, but that he's waiting to see all the evidence police have.
I feel a sense that we're on the right track to where I can say I can let my guard down a little bit, but we definitely still have a lot of work to do.
And tonight, we're learning more about the suspect. Austin Morrison says Kohberger was a teaching assistant in a criminal justice class he took at Washington State.
Just Rather quiet, very off to the side, standoffish. He sat in the class, didn't do a whole lot.
Koberger's public defender saying his client was shocked by his arrest and will not fight extradition to Idaho.
He believes he will be exonerated.
He says Koberger traveled by car from Washington to Pennsylvania with his father, who said his son was acting normally. Police seizing a white Hyundai Elantra at Koberger's parents' home in Pennsylvania, the same model they say was seen near the crime scene around the time of the attack. Two law enforcement sources familiar with the investigation tell NBC News that DNA evidence played a role in leading investigators to the suspect. Meanwhile, Steve Gonzalez is still reeling from the loss of his 21-year-old daughter.
Our next mission is really to find justice and make sure that we have a closing chapter that meets the expectations of all the families.
Guttig, the suspect's attorney says he won't fight extradition. It won't be until after that he's back in Idaho that we start to get some real answers here.
That's right, Lester. And we understand that authorities are now saying when he is brought back to Idaho, they will finally be able to unseal that probable cause statement in court. And that probable cause statement is likely to specify a lot more of the evidence they are using against him, including potential DNA.
Brian Enton's new, he did 2 and 3 now. So 2 says Koberger told the judge he is not on any medication that would impact him making the decision. The judge said that he has to be sent to Idaho within 10 days. Koberger came into court and made eye contact with his family sitting in the front row. He nodded at them. His mom cried. His sister and a deputy brought her tissue.
What did it say about his sister?
Comforted the mom, and then
Oh,
brought her tissues. Interesting. It's weird because we haven't seen him interact with anyone. So the fact that he interacted with his family is interesting.
He didn't ignore him.
Yeah. It just says he made eye contact with his family sitting. Oh, he nodded at them, and then his mom cried, and his sister comforted the mom.
Okay, Sluice just sent that Ann Taylor, the chief public defender in Kootenai County, Kootenai? I don't know if that's how I'm saying that correctly, will be representing Brian Koberger in the state of Idaho. John Webb, the reporter, just reached out to her office. It was sent to her voicemail. So Ann Taylor, the chief public defender in Kootenai County.
Isn't that a shopping store?
Not that I'm aware of, is it?
Ann Taylor?
Oh, Ann Taylor, yeah. I think so, yeah. I thought you were talking about Kootenai. I'm like, not that I'm aware of. I don't know who would name their store that, but so out of this other county, I wonder why.
Here we go. Spelled Kootenai wrong, that's for sure. Hang on. She's a public.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mel.
She's a public defender.
Yeah, that's what it says. She's the chief public defender of that county.
Yeah, that's all it says. Kootenai County. Well, okay. And then it brings me to the store locator. That doesn't.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't need a store locator. Yeah, it's a brand. Sharon says it's a brand. Ann Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, even if she's a public defender, she will still have a team of people.
Yeah.
And Kate does crime. Yeah, he waived his extradition. It was super fast. He apparently walked in, looked at his family, nodded, and his mom cried, and the sister comforted her, and a guard brought her some tissues. Public defenders can get a very good team of people. If you look at like CW's case, Chris Watt's case, I call him CW. Still look at that because Jen Lou's up here like, that's right, CW. I'm looking at you. Even in Chris Watt's case, he had public defenders, and they hired some of the top forensic people in the country to come in and look at the house. He ended up obviously pleading guilty, but the public defender's office still have their people. So I mean, she'll have a team. She'll have an entire team going through this. Here's the crazier part of the whole thing too, is you know that a case like this can make or break somebody's entire career. So she's not gonna hold back any punches.
Mm-hmm.
Quinny, I don't know. I don't know if yet I could say that, because if they don't know anything about any of this and all of a sudden their home is raided in the middle of the night just a few days ago. I mean, let's think about it. It was just a few days ago, 4 days ago.
Yeah.
I think that I would probably just be like, yeah, no, he did not do this. Like, my kid didn't do this. So I'm not, as time goes on, I think that they'll be able to kind of go like, okay, we can support you and we love you, but like, we can't stand by you. I don't know. I think it's way too soon for them to even grasp what their entire life looks like right now. And they're just like, that's my kid and that's how it's going to be, until things kind of progress a little bit more, especially if they do see some of the evidence against him, which they don't yet. So right now, that's kind of their job to defend him. I'm okay with that. It's as time goes by what they decide to do with the information they're presented that becomes, like Chris Watts' family. They still think the guy is innocent and that what he said, like when he says he confessed, well, he technically didn't confess, because he says that Shanann killed the girls and then he killed her. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the family still chooses to want to believe that and push that narrative out there, even though I think 99% of people know that he did it. I feel bad for his family, really. I feel like they didn't know, and I can't imagine being blindsided by that. That's kind of where I'm at too. Yeah, I think that they'll see the truth as it comes out in front of them, but I don't hold anything against them yet, unless they knew. That's the only thing. Like a Brian Laundrie's family.
Yeah.
That family, that family is different. Yeah, Quinny. I'm sorry. I probably did misunderstand, but I totally agree with you. It's pronounced Kootenai. Oh, Kootenai. Okay, thank you. You're too mean. Kootenai County.
Let's see. He worked for 5 years in the prosecutor's office. Let's see. Coeur d'Alene. Huh.
Who did?
And
Taylor did?
Yeah, so she says went to work for, this was back in 2017. There was an article written. Taylor named county's public defender. This is in 2017. It says, ever since Ann Taylor went to work for the, how do you say it again?
Kootenai
County Public Defender's Office in 2004, she thought it would be great to lead the department. I always thought that was the job I would want someday, she told the press. Friday was that day, which this was back in 2017. It says, Taylor, who has specialized in criminal defense in private practice for the firm of Palmer, George, and Taylor for the past 5 years, was hired as the new Kootenai County Public Defender. Prior to her private practice, she worked for the Public Defender's Office from 2004 to 2012. It's such necessary work, Taylor said, referring to what interested her in the public defender position. It's important to make sure constitutional rights apply to everybody. You help people who are facing horrible times. I love that work. She took over for the guy who retired after nearly 21 years as the chief public defender. She graduated from Idaho State University with her bachelor's in political science and master's in public administration. She earned her doctorate from the University of Idaho in 1998. Since then, she's practiced law at the federal, state, and local levels. And she's worked for 5 years in the Kootenai County Prosecutor's Office. She also serves on the board of the Idaho Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers and is death penalty certified in Idaho. Ooh. As I begin this journey, I'm excited to do my very best, and most of all, I have gratitude for all the members of the Public Defender's Office. I'm grateful to be welcomed by the outstanding office, and I'm looking forward to us standing together to advocate for the citizens of Kootenai County. She's well respected in the community, brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to this position. We have every confidence that she and her staff will continue the tradition of providing an excellent level of service to the community and to their clients. So it says, Public Defender's Office provides legal representation as court-appointed attorneys for I can't say that.
Indigenous?
No.
I don't know where you're going. I'm like, wait a minute. Where?
Indigent.
Indigent.
Yes.
Indigent. Yeah. Okay. Got you.
Clients in criminal cases, including felony, misdemeanor, and civil cases, as well as juveniles in criminal cases, and for children and their families in child protective hearings. So that's interesting. She is approved for the death penalty stuff.
That might be why they pulled her.
Yeah.
That is. So she's obviously qualified. She's got a lot of, and she's worked prosecutor and public defender for many years. And then she also went to ISU. Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah, for all three, her bachelor's, her master's, and her doctorate. So all three.
Wow. So she's purposely chose. So I had a professor once, and we actually were talking to him about, like, he's a public defender, and he actually had opened his own law firm when he was younger and chose to go back to being a public defender. So we had like a lot of questions, like, why would you do that? Because most people think like public defenders, it's kind of like where you start at because you can't get in anywhere else kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't typically want to do it because you don't want to represent, like Jeannie's saying, these pieces of shit. So, but he had some really fascinating stories about why he chose to go back to the public defender's office. It basically had to do with the fact of how many people he was able to exonerate and actually find the person who actually committed the crime. And it kind of gave me a new perspective of it, because it's kind of like, why would you, defense attorneys and so on and so forth. But it's so hard. I can't imagine doing it once you know all the evidence and know, or even if this person confesses to you kind of thing, how you continue to do that, knowing that you let them free. But I understood the point. Like, he was like, I was able to, send these people back to their families that would have been, incarcerated had it not been for, somebody like me stepping up and actually taking their case.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I can kind of see it. But it's like, it's so hard when you have something like this. And we'll have to wait and see if she actually is the one who ends up following through with it, because here's your other issue is, if you got a case that's this high profile, like I was saying, it can make or break your career. This is when some attorneys come out of the woodwork and they're like, we'll take the case pro bono so that we can make a name for ourselves.
Right.
But she seems like she's very qualified. So that's gonna be interesting. All right, so here's a video of him leaving. I'll play it real quick. It's only like 20 seconds.
Okay.
Good night, Brian.
Oh, scream ram. Oh, Max 2002. I agree. I don't think that they are, but I think that's the conception. Like, public opinion is that a lot of public defenders are only public defenders because they didn't get a job somewhere else. It's kind of just a stigma that follows them, but they aren't. I mean, like, look at this chick's resume, Ann Taylor.
Yeah, like, she was in a firm. She had her own, like, had her own firm. She worked private practice, and then she took over as the head of this department. So she literally did everything and is now a public defender. So it's interesting.
Yeah, and Biscuits and Crazy, you're right. We cannot say that it's him, but what I do say is I do believe that the investigation was done in a way that led them straight to him, and I don't think they would have been able to randomly come across this guy and arrest him for it. So I'm leaning towards that he is definitely the perpetrator. But you're right. I mean, if we look at it, criminal justice wise, he's innocent until proven guilty. That's his right. All right, let's see. Okay. Oh, I've seen one of those pictures. I've seen this one. This is from his Here, I'll save them real quick so I can show you.
Which ones are you talking about?
A couple pictures of Brian. Sleuth sent me. She's like, I hadn't seen these before. I've seen one of them, but the other one I have not seen.
Okay, I'll see if I've seen that.
And then we've got about 20 minutes until that other press conference comes on, so we can just look through some stuff and see what we find there. This one right here. Have you seen this one?
Yeah, I have. I just saw it this morning, though.
Yeah, I think I just saw this one last night. This is from like not Spotify, but another account of his. I can't remember what it's called now, though. That's a good question. Just a thought. What if this house stays closed up for months? The owner may not have the money to keep the mortgage or the utilities on. Well, the positive of who owns this is the fact that he actually has a ton of properties. He's very wealthy, so I think he probably will be okay. And I don't know the legal protocols on stuff like that. If they make it a crime scene, like how things get paid for. I don't know how that works.
I don't know quite how that works either.
I'm wondering if an insurance thing would probably come in with that too, because I mean it's they legally can't make any money off of it. So what happens? And then here's the other one. So I'd seen this one. This is the one I hadn't seen. This one.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one? I haven't seen this one.
Does it really surprise you that I've seen them both?
Well, I know there's new ones that come out every day, so.
Yeah. That one I found interesting.
Yeah, what's he doing?
Right. He's really concentrated, I think.
Yeah, nobody's renting that house. Yeah, I don't think so. Not for a while. It'll be next year, 2024, 2025. And they could keep it locked down. I mean, he's still going to have a trial. They could keep it locked down for, to bring the jury there. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, until it's kind of up in the air with what they can actually do with it.
That's a good point. He's right-handed. We know that now.
Oh. Nice one.
Question, would you live in that house a couple of years from now?
No.
I don't like the house, so I wouldn't live in that house, but because of what happened, I that would not stop me, but I don't like the house, nor do I like the location, so. Would you guys live there?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't because of what happened there?
Yeah, I'm a scaredy cat when it comes to ghosts.
Well, how do you know that there would be ghosts?
I don't, and that's the issue.
Most people are saying no. But see, like the Watts house, I loved that house. Hated the location, so I wouldn't have lived there. But I loved the house itself. It was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I was a college student and the rent was fair, I'd live there. Yeah, see? Laura says burn it down. The layout of the house is just ridiculous anyway. It's not a functional house to me.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I mean, it works for college students. I can see that.
Like everyone kind of having their own space and not hearing much, but at the same time, you still hear much.
You think it'll be removed? You think that they'll remove it? See, Sandy Hook, I think it's a lot different too because it was little kids. Hi, Britt.
Hey, Britt.
Oh, I can't imagine. I can't even. You're sick again?
Yeah, she got like a boy's head.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Brett. Okay, let's see. I think everybody wanted the Watts house torn down too, but now it's got like a new family living in it, and Netflix will buy it. Lizzie Borden House is a tourist attraction. You can stay the night there. Peeps are weird. Yeah. All right, let me see what else. Is there anything else that we need to look at? Let me take this one down. Let's go back to Twitter real quick and see what's going on there.
We don't know if they're going to allow Idaho's trial to be aired yet. I think it's allowed, but it's up to the courts.
Yeah, that'll go through all the petitions, and they could all just say, yeah, we don't care if it's aired, but family of Idaho quadruple murder suspect Brian Koberger are seen for first time as they arrive at his extradition hearing with faces covered. They claim cops have the wrong man. We're here to show face. I hope I hope that's not a quote, because that's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah.
And the other sister's not there, which is also interesting, but she does live further away, so.
Someone just said something about that. I think it was Lucy. Hang on.
Go back to that. Let's see what JB's got going on. He's just replaying it over and over.
Let's see.
We'll put him up for a minute. I think he said he's going to stream the press conference too, so that's good. But I have the link for the press conference. The last comment was a mistake. And I think that in the one we watched with Kaylee's dad, that has to be the one that I saw, I think, because I don't see another one from this morning at all.
Mm-mm.
And Z, we're not even, I mean, he hasn't.
He must be coming back.
You look so serious.
Do you think that he's guilty based on body language and overall attitude? I don't know if you can really determine guilt by that. All right, so they're on break. I just don't want to start a new stream for the other one. That's just, it's silly.
No.
Just be able to.
Let's see.
Most of the stuff that's out right now, we all kind of know. So.
Yeah, I'm just going through Twitter and seeing if there's anything. Let's see.
This is a good question, Sluice. Okay, it's purely speculation. Who were the targets? Who were his target or possible targets? That's a good question. A lot of people, I think, say Kaylee. What do you guys think in chat? Who do you think the target was or targets were?
See, I don't know. Because of the whole vegan thing and the possible restaurants and stuff like that, that kind of makes me question things, unless he saw Kaylee when she was there seeing Maddie and Xana, but
Hi, allegedly. Xana and Maddie. Some say Kaylee. Currently Kaylee. I think Kaylee because she was there. Did you guys hear that rumor that they were saying that the connection was that Kaylee and him had an affair 2 years ago?
yeah.
Did you see that? I was like, yeah, ATS News. Hi, honey. Yeah, too soon to say. I think that people are going to go with Kaylee because of her family being the most vocal.
Yeah.
But I think most people can take Ethan off the table because of literally no connection to the fraternity, which is why people thought that he could have been, you know?
Yeah.
Ellie steered all the conversations towards Kaylee, I think, to steer him away from their investigation. Maybe, I mean, it brings me to like Delphi, when people always focused on Libby, but I think it had a lot to do with the fact that like Libby's family was so vocal, just like Kaylee's family is so vocal.
Mm-hmm.
You think they may have had a date while she was broke up with Jack?
I don't know. They just don't have the same vibe.
Yes, supposedly he was stalking all of them 2 weeks prior, which doesn't make sense. I just can't see that you can't stalk everybody. I don't know how, like, you can't, like, they're all 4 in different directions. How do you stalk them all?
Mm-hmm.
1, maybe 2. It just brings me back to like how the dads have all come out and basically said like how nice they were. And then there was the guy that worked at the restaurant who did the interview and said like people don't typically talk to him, or they think that he's kind of scary because he didn't have, his teeth were messed up and he had a lot of tattoos. And he said how the girls were always so nice to him. They always made eye contact, and like they never cared about his, they never cared about how he looked or anything like that. They were always just very nice to him.
Mm-hmm.
So then that makes me go, okay, like, would the girls have run into somebody and just been nice to him? But then why was he so pissed at them? He obviously knew them somehow. He did not just randomly come across this house. He found them somewhere. So where would he have found them? They don't go to school together. According to Corner Club, on their tweet said that he has never been there,
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't there that night. BTK had multiple people he stalked at any given time. He referred to them as projects. But yeah, but that was like for future, because he was going to do them in a row, not all at the same time, right? Let's see. Allegedly, if anything, he might have been refused by her, or maybe they belonged to a local true crime group. That's possible.
Yeah.
Allegedly, I do too. I have it too. It's like they're like, stop calling us. Like, wow, how many people are calling the Corner Club? Like, just to say, like, was he there that night? Or did he get kicked out that night? They also said nobody got kicked out that night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he stalked multiple people at the same time, but not to unalive them all at once. Was kind of what I was getting at.
Right.
How do they know he's never been there? I actually thought that myself when I read it. I'm like, how do you know he's never been there? Like, do you know every single person who's ever been there? Julie, yep. Xana's sister goes to WSU. Xana goes to Pullman on the regular to see her sister. Xana worked at the vegan restaurant. I'm 95% Xana was the target. That's a very possible. The fact that her sister goes there, I don't know what her sister's major is. And have we ever found out what courses he was teaching? Like, what were the actual courses he was teaching? I've seen a lot of people come out and say like he was grading them different, or like post screenshots of like their communication on Canvas with him, which Canvas is like an online learning system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely think it's I just don't, I don't think he was stalking Ethan. I'm gonna call the Corner Club and ask if random people that are serial killers have ever been there. I'll start tonight and stop next week. They obviously don't know. Did he ever have a girlfriend? That's a great question. I never heard anything else except for that the very first day when he was arrested, that one reporter came out and said that he was hearing that he possibly had a child. I'm not seeing that anywhere else. So I'm thinking that's absolutely false.
Right.
This guy's prize is not the kill, it's getting away with it, making him better than all those who got caught. Except he got caught much faster than a lot of those. So he kind of lost.
Mm-hmm.
Jeannie says, I don't think he stalked them all at once, but they are saying his phone pinged where all 4 of them were, maybe one at a time during the 2 weeks. I'll be interested on that information. So here's the thing. How quickly do you think they're going to get him back to Idaho? When do you think they're going to bring him? They have 10 days.
Well, they said that he wanted to go back right away. So I've heard that they're going to try to get him on a plane within the next 24 hours, that he could be back by tonight at the earliest. But it's like, because he wants them to be able to get there and get everything going, because I don't think he wants them to have a drawn out amount of time to be able to get their shit together, you know? So
you think he's really going to push like the legal timelines? Because I mean, his attorneys are really going to have a say in that. They're going to be like, no, we're not ready for that.
But if he prepared himself for this, he's like, well, do this, do this, do this. And he's like, I didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. I think he thinks that it's going to be a huge thing for, instead of both sides having the ability to set up the thoughts and, you know, their cases, you know, then I think he will just want to force everything through, because he already in his head how he wants it to go down. So in his head, everyone else is behind where he is. So he's probably like, yeah, get me there. Let's start tomorrow. Like, I got this. I didn't do this. I'm going to be exonerated and all this type of stuff.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with most of chat. Like, people that they're going to do it sometime late at night. Most people aren't going to know that it's actually happening.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the press conference is on, T.
Is it already?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I just got a thing from JB on my phone.
Oh.
I think he'll press the speedy trial just because he thinks that he's ahead of everyone in this situation.
And we can pull it up so that way it's ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Just gonna look and see.
Let's see. Oh man, he's got a bulletproof vest on. That's so wrong. Someone should be able. Oh, I'm like, if you see footage in its entirety, he is there, got there before the girls. Okay, so I've heard that. I have not had a chance to actually go sit down and look through that footage myself. I know Rainbow Mom was asking if I had seen that. I've heard that people have found him being at the grub truck before the girls. And then I've also heard people who said they went through the footage and don't see him. So I have not had a chance to look at it myself. You think he's enjoying the game right now? Because I think he enjoyed the game. I think that he enjoyed that they were not able to find him, and that they made it seem, or to the public made it seem like the cops did not have a good lead and that the case was going to go cold. But I think that he enjoyed that. I actually don't know if he thought he was going to get caught. So I'm wondering how much of this part he's actually planned out at all.
I feel like he has.
If he thinks it's a slam dunk against him, I think he'll lean into it for the notoriety. I think he wants to be famous. Okay, so here's the thing is, unless he has another victim, he's not an SK. So he's gonna he has to have other victims outside of these four.
So Xana's sister is not studying anything in the criminal justice field. She is majoring in marketing and with a minor in communications and digital technology and culture.
Yeah, so I don't know how he would have come across her.
No.
But I don't know where she lived or anything, how close they would have been, or somebody had said that they checked her LinkedIn. A lot of people think that they're going to ship him out tonight. They're not going to.
Her sister did an internship with Bumble.
Isn't that the dating app?
Well, technically they have Bumble Friend and Bumble Relationship. So you could do like the friendship one or the dating one.
Interesting.
But she was an intern there in Pullman. So that's interesting.
In another live, as he walked in to talk to the judge, I said, "Is that Jack Ruby standing behind him?" And nobody got the joke. I know the joke. This is all game for him. Yeah, he loves the game. Let's see, Curious Cat. I imagine the reality is probably setting in by now. I wonder if he's been detoxing off of anything. Yeah, well, he told the judge that he's not on any medications or anything. So I do not believe this guy is a drinker. If he is, he's a very light drinker, and I do not believe he would use a lot of drugs, because I think that he likes to be in the mindset that he's in. And I think he wants to be in the moment. A lot of people think Mad Greek. I have my only issue with him eating at Mad Greek, and I get that they do have vegan options. But if he made his aunt and uncle buy new pots and pans because he wouldn't eat food that had been cooked somewhere that meat had been cooked, that makes me very curious if he would eat at the Mad Greek, because it wasn't a pure vegan restaurant. They just had vegan options. So would he eat there?
I know someone said last night when Britt was live that a lot of times they have separate cooking utensils for the kitchen for vegan stuff versus regular food. So even though stuff gets washed, they have separate utensils and pans that they use for the different things. And that restaurants are pretty good at that, because
they do a lot with like food allergies, I know, but I don't know. I don't know. I haven't looked too much into the vegan stuff. So Fungus Among Us said, I do not think this guy is some sort of evil genius like people are trying to imply. I think he just couldn't control himself anymore, and he did what he always wanted to do. I actually agree with you. I think I've said that I think that he studied crime and criminology and the behaviors of people, because this is what he wanted to do. Okay, here we go. Please be a good microphone.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Adam Reed. I'm the Director of the Communications Office with the Pennsylvania State Police. Thank you for joining us here. The order of speakers is going to be our Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner, Colonel Robert Ivanchik, Major Christopher Paris, he's our Area 3 Commander, and First Assistant District Attorney, Monroe County, Mike Mancuso. After the speakers have finished, we will then take a handful of questions. Colonel Ivanchik.
Good afternoon. I'm Colonel Robert Ivanchik, Commissioner of the Pennsylvania State. While I monitored the investigations of the University of Idaho students, I did not imagine the investigation would lead to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. My heart goes out to the families of the victims, their friends, the community of Moscow, and the University of Idaho. No words can heal the pain associated with the loss of a child. Their young lives were ended far too soon. In law enforcement, we understand the best thing we can do for victims and their families is to follow every lead, collect every piece of evidence.
That's not me. That's their stream, you guys. I don't know what to do.
I think everyone's watching it all at the same time.
And bring those responsible to justice. I am proud of the members of the Pennsylvania State Police who were able to help in this investigation. The cooperative relationship between our local, state, and federal partners stands the test of time. The officers, troopers, and federal agents work together tirelessly, putting in long, difficult hours. Communication and cooperation are imperative to success and to ensure the integrity of the case remains maintained. The culmination of that cooperation ultimately led to take the suspect into custody and afforded the families some sense of peace they deserve. I want to thank the Moscow Police Department, the Idaho Police, and our partners in the Federal Bureau of Investigation for their support, assistance, and coordination. I also want to recognize the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. And finally, I need to acknowledge the members of the Pennsylvania State Police, specifically members of Troop N, our Bureau of Criminal Investigation, and our Bureau of Emergency and Special Operations, who assisted in safely taking the suspect into custody in the early morning hours of December 30th. As previously indicated by Chief James Fry of the Moscow Police Department, specific details regarding this investigation cannot be released until the suspect is extradited to Idaho and presented with the probable cause affidavit. At this time, I will turn the microphone over to Major Christopher Paris, commander of Area 3, who was involved in the coordinated efforts to take the suspect into custody.
Thank you, Colonel. Area 3 comprises troops F, P, N, and R, and is made up of 1,000 approximately of the women and men, civilian and enlisted, in the northeastern part of Pennsylvania. I'd like to introduce to my left Captain Norm Kramer, who's the commander of Troop N Hazleton, which is comprised of Carbon, Monroe, Columbia, and parts of Luzerne counties. I would like to reiterate, as the colonel said, that Idaho law prohibits any release of information contained within the affidavits. So we're going to do our best today to talk about what phase we are currently in the investigation. And it has entered a new phase with the waiver for extradition. And the continuing primary goal is the seeking of justice through successful prosecution and conviction, bearing the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So with that in mind, we're trying to balance essentially two things: the public's desire for information against the need to maintain the integrity of the investigation and protect the suspects, accused at this point's due process. So I'll now attempt to give you an operational picture with the best information I can release at the time. So this begins when the Pennsylvania State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigation troopers were contacted by the FBI about assisting with surveillance of the accused in this case. I'd like to take the opportunity to specifically thank several individuals. Special Agent in Charge Jackie McGuire and Assistant Special Agent in Charge Dave Carter from the Philadelphia Field Division, as well as Supervisory Special Agent Bill Vigorito of the Scranton RA. We're very lucky in PSP to have a collaborative relationship with the Bureau, both in Pennsylvania and beyond, and their people are absolutely excellent. So as the investigation progressed, Troop N Criminal Investigation Section, commanded by Captain Kramer over my left shoulder here, began to collaborate with authorities in Idaho. Specifically, I'd like to acknowledge Lieutenant James Curto, who was here today, Sergeant Anthony Ferdinand, Corporal John Chulak, who is not present with us, and Troopers Leary and Knoll, who are here with us today. It was through this collaboration and the charges pending in Idaho that those troopers were able to obtain search warrants and a fugitive from justice warrant that was prepared here in Monroe County for the location in Chestnut Hill Township and the fugitive from justice warrant for Mr. Koberger, respectively. I'd like to acknowledge the Monroe County District Attorney, David Christine, as well as First Assistant Mike Mancuso and their entire office. The support that we received was absolutely excellent. Once those warrants were obtained, the Bureau of Emergency and Special Operations, BESO, coordinates our Special Emergency Response Team, CERT. They were selected to serve those warrants, the 3 search warrants and the fugitive from justice warrant. To define what CERT is, it's a full-time tactical team maintained by PSP to deal with high-risk warrant situations, barricades, and other incidents requiring specialized tactical training or other capabilities. From their perspective, we essentially task them to go out and serve a arrest warrant for someone accused of a quadruple murder. They're activated several hundred times a year throughout the Commonwealth. We don't typically hear of their work in a forum like this because they serve the warrant, the person's taken into custody, and they go about their assignment. They are the ultimate professionals. It's a volunteer team. They're highly trained and highly motivated. Captain Norm Kramer over my left shoulder was assigned as the top comm for the CERT activation, which means he was responsible for coordinating our tactical preparations. So tactical assets were then staged in the county, in Monroe County, into the evening of Thursday, December 29th, last Thursday. And in the early hours of Friday, December 30th, those warrants were executed at the location. Mr. Koberger was taken into custody without incident. The scene was turned over to the FBI Evidence Response Team for processing. Mr. Koberger was then turned over to the Monroe County Prison, where he has remained in their custody since. I'd like to thank the Monroe County Sheriff and the Stroud Regional Police Department for their support as well during the extradition process. Arrangements currently are being made to deliver Koberger back to Idaho, where he can have continued due process and face these charges. So it's with that, I will turn it over to First Assistant Mike Mancuso.
Thank you, Major. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mike Mancuso with the DA's office, the First Assistant District Attorney. I want to give my condolences to the families of the victims out in Idaho for their loss. It's my sincere hope that this marks a clear step in the right direction of effectuating justice for those folks. My office's role was relatively recent. We weren't advised of the presence of the defendant in our county until only a couple days before the apprehension of the defendant. But when we were told, we came together and worked very closely with Captain Kramer, who did an excellent job in almost like a clockwork operation. Part of my duties were to ensure that 3 separate search warrants were issued. Those affidavits attached to those search warrants are still under seal, so I can't discuss their contents with you. But one was for the person of Mr. Koberger, collecting DNA and photographs, that sort of thing. One was for the white Elantra vehicle, which I understand has been seized and is being processed. And one was for the address, the residence itself that he was living in with his family. I was at the scene, and I have to say that Major Paris and Captain Norm Kramer did an outstanding job in coordinating the efforts, not only of the numerous Pennsylvania State police troopers there, but officers from other jurisdictions and disciplines within those jurisdictions to make this a very smooth, highly competent professional operation. It is a quirk, apparently. It's not in the norm of the states I'm familiar with that Idaho does not release their probable cause affidavit in support of their arrest warrant until after their defendant is returned to that state. But having read those documents and the sealed affidavits of probable cause, I definitely believe that one of the main reasons the defendant chose to waive extradition and hurry his return back to Idaho was the need to know what was in those documents. So that's a significant development. Beyond that, looking at the scope of the situation and the ties this defendant has to my county, I would hold our office at the disposal of the Idaho authorities to help facilitate a complete background investigation into the defendant, both activities prior to the murders occurring within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and his activities after the murders in Pennsylvania. So we stand ready to assist with that effort on an ongoing basis. Thank you.
We can now open it up for questions.
Can you tell us what state police specifically did, or can you give us any indication as to the operations of state police, when you were notified? And you talk about putting tactical in the area. How long were they there? And what's the—
We're not in a position to give you an exact time. It was at some point prior to when the surveillance was taken, as the investigation progressed to a point where search warrants could be obtained, and the probable cause for those search warrants and an arrest warrant, a fugitive from justice warrant based on the arrest warrant out in Idaho were obtained. We began to take the tactical steps to plan to serve them.
Were you collecting evidence prior to his arrest?
At this point, like we said, it's very much pertinent to what's in the affidavits, which we cannot speak about.
What's it about his demeanor when the arrest actually happened?
Present sense impression, as likewise ongoing investigation, can't discuss it.
Robin, 69 News, how is Koberger being transported back to Idaho?
Those arrangements are being discussed right now, as well as the logistics. The court order says, those of you who heard it today, it's within the next 10 days. So we're currently working on that in coordination with authorities out in Idaho. Sir, I can't comment. I don't know.
Is he being held in the Monroe County Jail until he's
extradited, or was he removed to another?
No, he is lodged in since he was dropped off there Friday morning. He's resided in Monroe County Prison.
Still, until he's
Correct, yes.
extradited, he'll be there. Are the marshals moving him, or which group? Is
At this
moving
point,
him?
that's still being coordinated between the state police and the authorities out there. We don't know.
Will the affidavit be unsealed when he arrives in Idaho?
I don't want to speak out of my lane. When I watched the press conference on Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I was alerted to the fact that according to Idaho state law, that the affidavits have to be served to him once he's extradited back before they could be unsealed.
Did he say that anyone else been arrested?
Ongoing investigation.
Has a motive been determined?
I can't comment on that either. I apologize.
Who transports him, sir? Does Pennsylvania State Police, the Monroe County Sheriff's Department?
He's presently back. He was transported from the courthouse by Monroe County Sheriff. And the logistics of who's going to transport him out to Idaho are still being discussed. We don't know. Yeah.
Can you confirm the time of his arrest and how much law enforcement presence there actually was?
I would say it was in the early morning hours of Friday, December 30th. Tactical assets on scene were probably in the neighborhood of 50.
Were you afraid he was going to get tipped off before you got him?
I would say overall about this entire operation, and the credit goes, this is a part that the state police played humbly. You look at Moscow Police Department, 38 sworn, 19,000 leads, the video evidence that they had to develop in order to put that out, all public source information. But when you talk about the service of a high-risk warrant for someone who's committed or alleged to have committed 4 homicides, there's nothing routine about that. And all of those tactical steps that were taken were in conjunction with the best efforts of the authorities, local, state, and federal, both in Idaho and here, to ensure that we could do it safely and to ensure that we could get him into custody and that those service or the search warrants could occur.
Sir, can we ask a question of the first assistant district attorney? Mr. Mancuso, you described having read to a degree the contents of that affidavit of probable cause, and that you possibly speculated or theorized that he wanted to get back to read that as well, since he can't read that. Can you give us an indication, though, of the seriousness of what you did read? I know you can't talk about it, but can you share with us something?
Yeah, I can't get into the details, sir, but I can say it involved the defendant's connection to a scene of a crime consisting of 4 murdered people. So that's the significance of it.
Can you confirm that there is a connection between Brian Koberger and any of the victims?
I can't discuss that.
How confident are you that he is guilty of these crimes?
That wouldn't be my place to say. Certainly confident enough that there was ample probable cause for the issuance of the various warrants in the case.
What was your reaction when you heard this? You've all talked about you followed this. This happened states away. When you get that call, or you all get the call, that this person could be right here in your home area, what's your reaction?
Well, I was surprised, really, Monroe County of all places. It hits close to home. It's a normal human reaction, I would think, under the circumstances.
Do you know when he and his father left Idaho or Washington and drove to Pennsylvania, what that date was?
No, I don't know the exact date.
Approximately, we understand the middle of December, is that correct?
I think that's approximate.
And what about, we heard reports that they were stopped not once but twice on the highway. Can you elaborate?
I'll defer to his Pennsylvania public defender on that.
Do you have reason to believe that Koberger is connected to other crimes and unsolved mysteries in the area?
I wouldn't answer that question at this time.
We start looking at some that may be unsolved where he was around.
But that would be a normal thing to do.
Question for the PSP here. Said he was taken without incident. Was it safe to say that, I shouldn't say it's safe to say, but did it seem like he was expecting?
I wouldn't comment on what his present sense was. I would just comment that the professionalism of the CERT team and their tactical training definitely proved in a situation like this to do it in the most tactically sound and fastest way possible.
Was there anybody else in the house at the time?
His parents were in the house at the time.
Did they say anything to you?
Again, present sense impression. I can't comment on that ongoing investigation.
You was down the door.
Force was used. The warrants were issued for evening search warrants, which in Pennsylvania requires additional probable cause in order to serve them at the hours of darkness. I would defer to the first assistant to talk about the legal burden that you bear in order to obtain those. But from a tactical standpoint, based upon all of the briefings that we had developed and all of the intelligence we had developed, we thought that was the best time to serve it.
And what tipped off that Pennsylvania was involved with this?
We were alerted by the FBI. Troopers in the Bureau of Criminal Investigation were alerted.
Anything on like his social media pages that tipped anything?
I can't comment. I don't know.
So has Garrett's been cooperative in this whole process?
Can't comment. Ongoing, like I said. The state police's role here was to serve the warrants and assist with the surveillance, which we've done. We've been part of major investigations. You know, these are men and women who take an oath to protect their communities and the Commonwealth here. We're very humbled with the opportunity that we had, given a case that has really gained international attention to play a small part in it. And our hat is off to Moscow PD again with the size and the complexity of this investigation and the work that they've done to get us here today. And this is only the beginning of the next step.
If it's determined that anyone here in Pennsylvania either helped to conceal or dispose of any evidence, then you would be a part of this case, or would it go?
I would say that we would pledge whatever support we can for ongoing investigations with the Idaho authorities here in Pennsylvania. Absolutely. We would help them in any way we could.
Were there any weapons found in the home?
I don't want to get into what was actually seized in the house pursuant to the evidentiary nature of it.
Can you give any insight into why you all decided to go in overnight to make the arrest?
Those are tactical decisions in terms of base surveillance. I don't want to give out too many tactical factors that go into that situation, but obviously surveillance was conducted and we wanted to go in at a time when we thought it would be the safest for everybody, safest for anybody else in the house, safest for Mr. Koberger, and safest for our people.
There was an interesting question asked earlier about the care that needed to be taken to not tip the suspect off. Could you describe how long that lid had to be on things and how many people were involved in it? Like how many people knew and for how long?
So I would say, I would answer the question this way. I don't want to get into a timeline of when we were notified by the FBI and when the surveillance began. Obviously, we know on Thursday night into Friday morning is when the warrants were served. I would say, as a credit to the professionals, both standing behind me and others not here, many others not here, the information was held very close. And we did not want to have any situation where Mr. Koberger potentially would be tipped off. So as a result of that, I would say a close number of approximately 7 8 individuals, maybe 10 on the most within the PSP side of this operation knew about it.
And for days, can we say? Or?
I would say for a period of time. I would not feel comfortable commenting any more than that for a period of time. And then as the tactical assets were brought in, people were briefed.
When the movement plan is finally decided, will there be an announcement? Will
Not from the state police. So we would defer to Moscow and the authorities in Idaho.
starts leaving Pennsylvania?
Well, we have security concerns now, obviously, to move any prisoner. Anytime you move somebody from a secure prison to another place, we don't want, there won't be an announcement from the state police in terms of those logistics, but they're being worked on right now.
Can you give us your best guess when you think he might be moved roughly? Tomorrow?
We would like to do it as soon as possible, but the court order says 10 days. We have 10 days to coordinate it.
Can you actually be on a plane tonight? Is it possible he could be on a plane tonight? That's a possibility, right?
I can't, I would think that's probably not likely.
Private plane, or would you fly commercial?
We're looking into that right now.
Can you confirm or deny that a window was broken in order to gain access into the home?
There were multiple windows that were broken, I believe, to gain access, as well as multiple doors. I think the video of the house after the fact confirms that. And that would all be part of the tactical plan based on the floor plan of the house, et cetera, and what the CERT operators would do to serve those warrants.
Was this suspect on your radar before, and are you looking at any connections?
Wouldn't comment on that based on the ongoing nature.
But how about did he have a criminal past? According to the UJS, I didn't see anything.
I can't comment on a person's criminal history during an ongoing investigation.
Sorry, Mr. Mancuso said that you stand ready to assist in giving a complete background of the defendant. What specifically is law enforcement interested in?
That'll be the last question after Mr. Mancuso answers.
In any case of this nature, and I prosecuted a fair share of homicides, double homicides, that sort of thing. You want to look at any evidence of possible motive. You want to look at any evidence of a pattern of modus operandi or method. You want to get into the subject's character, mental state to the best you can, that sort of thing. So it'll be an all-encompassing effort, which we stand ready for. Okay. We have our ways. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Just for a quick spelling, I'll give everyone the spelling of everyone's name. It was included in the media advisory, but just so we have it.
Okay, sorry, I missed a lot of the chat, so I apologize because I had to stay on that screen for it to not cycle like this. So I didn't get to see a lot of the chat, but welcome, Britt. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm okay. Trying
Hey,
to be.
Britt.
You know, I can't resist. I have to watch this. And
I
I was
know.
like, I don't feel like typing, so here I am.
They got it.
Aw. Okay, so they busted in multiple doors of the house.
That's crazy.
TMZ got the traffic stop video.
Yeah, Sleuth just sent it to me, so I already have it pulled up and ready to go. So
good.
it started cycling again when I tried to go over and show that screen, and I'm like, dang it! So I had to get off of it. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up right now. So TMZ got the traffic stop in Indiana, but they were let go, which is what I figured when they said there was no record of it. So, all right, hold on, let's pull this up. Let's see what we see.
Dang it. I want to hear him.
Okay, hold on. It's
I
the
want
wrong
to
one.
see if he looks anxious or worried, because imagine committing.
I want to hear him.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I want to hear him talk.
Yeah, like imagine committing a crime of this magnitude and then looking in the rear view mirror and seeing cop lights behind you.
Okay, so let's see. Why is it not wanting to play? Come on. My computer's like, okay, you've been doing this for way too long. You've got to quit. Okay.
Oh. Commercial?
Yeah.
Oh, Lamar.
TMZ presents Lamar Odom, Sex, Drugs, and Kardashians. Watch it now on Hulu.
State police got your license and registration. When I stopped you, when you're driving by me there, you're a little too close to back that semi. About one car between you and the back of this trailer. About one car going 10 miles an hour. So if you're going 60 or 70 miles an hour, you're about 6 or 7 cars. Oh, you guys dead? Yeah.
What is this cop doing?
It's on his body. He's leaning in.
You guys stopped by a trooper? We don't have any SUVs. It was a county guy. Was it like a black SUV? Okay. All right. You thought you guys were following too closely? Okay. Today? Well, I'm not going to give you guys another ticket or warning if you just got stopped. Just make sure you give yourself plenty of room, okay? So like I said, it's all about how fast you're going, okay? So if you're going 10 miles an hour, you only need one car. If you're going, so speed limit here is 7. If you're going 7 miles an hour, you need 7 cars. Yeah. That's the easy way to explain it. Yeah. It's really easy in the B&B mail says 2 seconds. All right. You guys have a safe trip. Where y'all headed? Thank you so much. we're going to. Where we're at. Yeah, it's a long haul. You guys scared of airplanes? Did you? Okay. All right, well, hey, peace out, safe trip. Thanks. Safe.
It's interesting that they ask if he's scared of airplanes.
Okay, so TMZ's going to end up striking the channel for that. So it may end up having to take it out, but it is what it is because TMZ does not like when people play their stuff, but whatever.
Well, it
Scared of
definitely wasn't
airplanes, huh?
worth it. It wasn't worth the strike. That's for sure. Good
That's what I'm like.
Lord.
I may end up taking it out, but it's fine. I'm not worried about it right now. But because TMZ's just, I don't know, they're super finicky. And I think they have like just their bots that go through. That
Yeah.
car is absolutely filthy.
And did
Because he
you
asked if
notice?
he's scared of airplanes. So a couple people in chat are thinking that this, like these stops were just because, like to keep him in check, like to make sure they knew where he was and make sure he knew that they knew where he was, kind of thing.
Well, is this something that they do? They actually pull people over for driving too close behind a semi? Like, I don't do a lot of long treks or in those neck of the woods, but is that something that happens a lot? Does anyone know?
I don't actually know. I mean, I guess it's possible, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they would need to do that, but you never know. I'm wondering if they needed confirmation because it's kind of interesting that he was pulled over twice, like right then. I'm wondering if they needed confirmation that he was in the car. And so they had him pull him over. And that's maybe around the time that they actually had figured out who he was.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this. So Mal and I have talked about, like, I don't think they followed him across country. I don't think there was a whole big, I don't think they were doing that. I think that they figured out who he was probably on his trek back. But one thing, if you look at the date, so he was in Indiana on 12/15. So the report of him leaving 12/17 was wrong. The one of him leaving 12/13 was probably more accurate.
Well, did you notice too? There's a lot of damage on the passenger side too. It's not just dirty; it's beat up.
Really?
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So if you look at the door has like a huge dent on it.
Let's see if I can go.
Oh yeah.
It sure does.
I was like, well, we ain't gonna get to see them, so let me look at other stuff.
Yeah, you get to see them for like a hot minute here.
I wonder if they didn't wash the car because maybe he thought they would think it's not white.
Right?
Or do you think he's just dirty?
It's so gross. It's so gross.
See, that's the ones that I write "clean me" on when I walk past in the parking lot.
Well, it makes me wonder, did he go through the time to clean the inside if there was blood? I mean, being that his dad's riding along with him, surely he cleaned the inside.
Yeah. He does look more annoyed than scared.
He does. And it's interesting to me that he's driving. It's interesting because I was trying to come up with any reason why his dad would have to come and go back with him. And I was thinking, well, maybe he didn't want to drive through the elements, but he's driving.
Well, see, I think that they switched. I think they probably switched because we've not heard about them stopping and staying anywhere yet.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that they probably switched back and forth so one could sleep, one could drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably just dirty from the mountain passes. That's very possible. It's a white car. Dirty snow does that to your car. That's true too.
Some of that looks like it's been there for a while. I don't know.
It would be dirty from the drive. They're 100% right. I mean, I've driven cross country from Illinois to California a couple times and back. So
it's pretty beat up. I think the back of it has marks on it too.
Let's go back and look. See.
It's definitely interesting because the way that they say it is, he says, "Oh, you were just pulled over," And then he's like, oh, it wasn't that person. It was this person. Oh, it was in this type of car. Okay. And so it literally sounds like they got pulled over, got back on the road, and then got pulled over again.
Well, that's why I'm wondering, like, if did somebody put out like a radio call to like pull over this white Elantra, and so they both did, not knowing that the other one already had. But I'll be very honest. I was driving back from 29 Palms one night, and I got pulled over twice and got 2 speeding tickets.
Oh, T.
Yeah. So, I mean, it does happen. It's happened to me. I did get pulled over twice.
Maybe it's just dirty. I don't know. Like, it looks like there's a mark right there in the middle on the bottom bumper. Could just be dirty.
Yeah, it looks dirty. Oh, that is crazy, though.
Yeah. Could y'all make out 2 people talking to the officer?
I think someone will come out with an edited version, but I could only hear bits and pieces of someone responding. Because I'd like to know what they said to the responsive. Are you guys afraid to fly?
Yeah. He doesn't look.
I'll have to clean that up and see. But look at his face. He's like, what the F are you doing pulling me over, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't look nervous or concerned. He looks more aggravated.
His dad needs some sunglasses.
So, sorry, y'all, I'm not all there. Were y'all saying that y'all think at this moment, that they're on to him?
I think it's possible. Like
so
maybe this is when they were on him. They just needed to verify that was him in the car. I don't know.
But then if you think about it, they said that they only watched him for 4 days and he wasn't arrested till the 30th. So that would mean that they technically had him under surveillance for 2 weeks before they started officially watching him. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Well, maybe they had his name and they were investigating, trying to verify, or just looking into things, and then eventually, like, when they had enough, they were like, okay, we got to surveil this guy.
Yeah, especially because there was that ABC article that said that they've had the DNA match potentially since November. And that they've just needed the more information to actually, like, get the warrants and such.
Do you think the comment about flying, like, are you guys afraid to fly?
Yeah, like it's targeted at them.
Yeah.
So I was looking at his hands too to see if I see any marks, but would he be healed by that point?
This
Depends
is
on
the
what
15th.
it
It's over
was.
a month later. Yeah.
It depends on if he actually, like, stabbed himself in the hand. I mean, if it's just little cuts and scrapes or something like that, those will be gone. Bruises, those will be gone. But, like, if he obviously didn't, his hand didn't get completely sliced.
I have to take a screenshot. Let me go in and take a screenshot so I can actually save it to the computer, because I can't zoom in on the video.
Kind of weird how he's got his hands placed on his legs. Like that right hand is kind of cupped. I'm just thinking about, in terms of being pulled over by law enforcement, you're supposed to hold on to the steering wheel to let them know you're not going to try to do anything shady.
Yeah.
So
His hand kind of looks like a foot.
Yeah, it does.
His hand looks like a foot?
Yeah. If you look at it, it looks like he has someone's foot sticking out of the bottom of a pants because of the way his fingers are curled. It looks like toes. Am I crazy? I mean, I am crazy, but do you guys see that too?
It's just the placement of his hands are weird to me.
Yeah. Now all I see is a foot. I know. I see
Which
the foot
one,
too.
the right or the left? Mallory?
What? Sorry, what?
Which hand, the right or the left?
The right, the one where his you can see, like, just his knuckles. If you're looking at it from afar, it looks like a foot with just the toes.
Yeah, and so that's kind of, well, I see it, I think, but that's what I mean, like, his hand plate, that's weird, a weird way to hold your hand, to rest your hand.
I didn't say that that's what my toes look like. I said they just look like toes,
Oh,
David.
Lord.
I said I don't see it.
Really?
Oh,
I'm gonna take a screenshot. Hang on.
She's so cute.
Who?
Mallory, you.
Oh.
let me save this pic real quick.
Oh my goodness.
Hiding cuts, that could be.
Anyone else got the stomach bug? Is it going around where y'all are
Yeah.
while we wait?
I don't have it now, but I did over New Year's.
No, I'm good.
Thank
I shouldn't
God.
say that out loud though. Where's some wood I need to knock on now?
Yeah. Go knock on your new desk.
Right. All right. Let's see.
Hi, Allie. Love you.
Hey, Allie. Could be hiding cuts on his fingers, yeah.
Even though TMZ will strike you, I do
That's
have
okay.
to say I appreciate their watermark not being so blatant and blocking the screen.
Oh yeah, so you can actually see through it. Yeah. Hi, Allie. No, Jen Lou says, I don't know. To me, he seems like textbook of how to keep off the radar. He continued to teach, didn't flee immediately, didn't change plans, etc. Yeah, you're right.
I agree, Jen. But I don't know. I'm with Steve. I'm not so sure that he planned for this moment because of how arrogant he is. I could easily see that he truly thought he was going to get away with this.
Yeah, I think it could go either way. I think he planned to not get away with it, or he literally planned to get caught so that he could be like in the textbooks as someone who exonerated himself in a crime like this. Like, I think it could go both ways.
Yeah.
But then I don't think he's going to get exonerated.
Look at those eyes. He's mad. Sorry.
He
Yeah,
does.
no, I agree.
He's
I
going to
can't
get
get a good one. I'll have to do it.
ripples.
I'm sure that this is going to be all over the place anyway. So I'm sure they're going to have some of the more tech savvy people that are able to they're going to clean it up and zoom in on it. But I don't have that on. I don't have that ability right this second. So this is the best that you're going to get here right now. But I don't see anything major that stands out. But it is a month later. Jen Liu, I think he wants to be studied.
Jen,
Yeah.
Look at his pinky, the right one. What is that
folded
right?
under.
Is that a bandage? Or is
Oh,
that
he's got it folded under his hand, it looks like almost.
But it looks like something white right there. What is that?
Yeah. Let me go back to the
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe.
And that would technically be because we saw he was right-handed in that other thing. So if his hand slipped down the knife, that could be where it would be on that pinky side there.
Or that's a rip in his jeans. It's just hard to tell.
He's looking at his dad like, why are you smiling at them?
Yeah.
That's a huge difference between his dad's demeanor and his.
It almost makes you wonder if his dad actually knew anything. Like, his dad looks like he's just kind of carefree and chilling
this
there
is a
with
better
him.
one. Sleuth's got me a better one. Let me show you guys this one.
Hi, Jen Lou. I hope you're doing well. I've been thinking about you. I do too, Allie. But I'm still trying to figure out if it's going to be a Brian Laundrie situation where the parents are actively trying to cover up, or are they just innocent bystanders that saw no warning signs at all?
I mean, I think they probably always assumed that there were warning signs, especially if he acts the way he is now, but at the same time I'm not sure if he would. But at the same time, I mean, even I would find it hard to believe that if he's gotten away with this far, that he wouldn't have some type of change in his demeanor.
You think he'd be happy?
I like more like confident. I think it'd be like one of those things where he feels so much confidence now that he'd walk up to a girl at the bar and hit on them versus just watching. You know what I mean? Like that type of difference where he has a confidence knowing like I did this, I got away with it. That like now he has the confidence to do anything. So like that demeanor versus just sitting there and watching people like would be the difference.
Okay, so in the picture that Sleuth sent, I don't see over here. I don't see like a bandage. It looks like it's just the shadowing and the light in his thumb or his pinky's like turned over or like
Yeah,
curled in.
look how white his fingernail is on that hand.
Look at his face though, you guys. Look at
Yeah,
that look in his face.
It's gonna get wrinkles.
I don't care.
Oh my goodness. Look at those eyes.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like his face at all. It's
When I see that, I don't know, T. I see anger, but I see a bit of concern too. Now that you're kind of up close,
Yeah.
like not afraid, but more like guarded, and like he's preparing himself for what might about. How can I say this? He's got up his defenses. This person could take his freedom from him, and he knows what he did, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Can you see his dad's phone in his hand?
Let me go back over here. Hi, JPL.
On his leg.
Yeah, it's like charging.
Are you able to see what's on the screen?
A map.
Okay, so it is maps. Okay.
Interesting.
So his dad's doing the map.
So
They both got water.
Did Brian drive to Washington when he started school? He had to have to get the car there, right?
I mean, he didn't have to. They could have shipped it, but yeah, most likely he just drove.
Interesting. Oh yeah. I see that too. How do you say your name again? Larm, right?
We call him Larm.
Okay, Larm. To me, he seems irritated to have to deal with someone beneath him. He sees everyone as beneath him. That is contempt. Yeah.
Yeah, I see contempt. I see concern on his dad's face.
Yes.
Like kind of like, what the hell did we do now? He just looks like he's pissed.
Yeah. Like again.
And like leaning over, like, what the F do you want from me?
Yeah. You do this again, and we're gonna have issues.
He drives a stick? I don't think so. I don't think it's a
I
stick.
don't know.
No, I don't think it's a stick. It's just I think
that's just the Prindle.
I think it's just got the I don't know. I can't really tell, but I don't think it is.
If you showed me a picture of this guy and what he did like never happened, right? He's just some random guy, I would still have complete and total SK vibes all day long. I would say something's wrong with this individual.
He does just kind of give the heebie-jeebies.
He does, yes.
Yeah.
If I seen him around school, I would avoid him.
Allegedly.
What allegedly say?
If you all take another look, he looks like he needs to poop.
Yeah, I was pretty irritated when I got pulled over twice. So yeah, no, I agree. I was pretty irritated, but it was kind of like a fudge. Like, all right, not.
You never think it's gonna happen
again.
pissed
though.
But Sherry, this is a law enforcement officer. Who's gonna most people are gonna have put on their political face and be very nice because they don't want to get a ticket or cause any problems. This guy, it just looks like he wants to go through the officer. I'm surprised that cop didn't get bad vibes from him.
Well, his face must have changed though when the officer's body cam is like pointed down, because the officer's literally like laughing with him. So if he's not in on the fact that this is like the potential Idaho perpetrator, like obviously he's giving good enough vibes where the police are able to laugh it off with him.
What are the odds that we finally get a camera footage of him, live action, and the officer points it down to the freaking car the whole time?
Yeah. It's like, oh. The poor dad, the sun's right in his eyes. Is that why you said he needs sunglasses, T? If you're talking, I can't hear you. Is anyone talking?
Oh, I was totally talking. I was just muted. I totally had a lot of conversation with myself right there.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Just had a Britney moment.
Yeah, it always
totally
happens to me, so I'm always the one that's left talking.
So yeah, Alley 79, it's dated 12/15. So that goes to show that he probably did leave Washington around the 13th. Which makes sense because I mean it's finals week. So most people are taking their finals. He doesn't need to be there for that. He'll just grade them all online anyway.
Right.
I want to know if that's a bandage around his pinky.
I want to hear his voice, and I hopefully we can go through and pick out just the little segments that might be his voice, and then hear it from there. But I think the August 18th one would probably be a little bit better because, well, I don't know, because you don't know the body cam if it's going to be facing down or not.
Yep. In the highway, the traffic.
Can pull out his voice from it.
Yeah, if you could clean it up though, usually you can decipher a younger guy's voice from an older gentleman. Like if both parent, his dad and him both talk.
Yeah, he's trying to avoid Ellie, and they just keep pulling him over.
If they didn't know anything about him at that moment, which I think they did at this point, but let's just say they didn't. Imagine how these officers felt or feel now, knowing they pulled him over and they were right there.
Yeah, there's a date on the cop cam, 12/15. Here, I'll zoom it out again so you guys can see it again. Which one is it? Which one is it? This one. 12:15 at 3:50 in the afternoon, Indiana time.
Where does it say where in Indiana?
No, not that I'm aware of, but maybe the article does.
Okay. I'd like to know because I know 2 Foot Fred sent me a lot of information on the routes that he thinks they would have taken. And I was trying to look into those last night, but then I fell asleep.
There's basically, you're traveling cross country. There's 2 main routes. Take the north route or the south route, and he's obviously going to take the northern route.
Yeah.
Let me see if the article says anything. It just says mid-December, he was stalked by Indiana cops mid-December in the white Hyundai Elantra, but they let him go. It happened on December 15th. A trooper from the Indiana State Police pulled the car over for following too closely. There were 2 men in the car. Koberger was driving, and the passenger presumably was his father, who accompanied him from Washington State. Police officials say at the time of the stop, they knew nothing. Oh, there you go. Knew nothing related to the license plate or state in which the car was registered. However, more than a week before, cops asked the public's help in finding a white Hyundai Elantra. Police let them go with a verbal warning. By the way, during the stop, the cop asked where they're going, and they reply Pennsylvania, to which the cops say, "That's a long haul. Are you guys scared of airplanes?" Then the cop laughs. During the encounter, Koberger's dad mentions a shooting near Washington State University, adding that's where his son went to school. A man had barricaded himself in an apartment near the university and threatened to kill his 2 roommates. He died in the police shootout. The Indiana State Police say just minutes before that traffic stop, the two men were stopped by a deputy from the Hancock County. There you go. You can kind of get a general location. They were stopped by a deputy from the Hancock County Sheriff's Department. And again, they were released with a verbal warning. He was arrested 2 weeks later at his parents' home. And then he waived extradition today.
Huh.
So Hancock County Sheriff's Department.
Okay, let's see.
Why? I guess I don't understand. He asked if they're afraid of flying, and brings up the shooting at Washington.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that he brought that up already because he was saying like where they were from. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is Indiana State Police have released the body cam video from one of its troopers that pulled over Brian Koberger and his father on I-70 just outside of Indianapolis. ISP says at the time there was no information available for a suspect in the Idaho murders.
So he's just got shitty luck.
The traffic stop happened on December 15th, just before 11 a.m. What?
But didn't the Bolo go out on the Elantra on December 7th?
Yeah, right around the 7th, I think. Yeah, 7th or 8th. This says December 15th, just before 11 a.m., when ISP says the trooper pulled Koberger over for following too closely. Okay, so that's at 11. That's not right before that then. This was
Sorry.
This was the second time he was pulled over. That doesn't match the body cam. Shortly before, a Hancock County Sheriff's deputy also pulled him over for following too closely. Okay, that one was for speeding.
Yeah.
Both times Koberger was released with a verbal warning. The Hancock County Sheriff also says there was no information at the time about a suspect in Idaho. Sheriff is not releasing its body cam video because he says it's part of the ongoing criminal investigation. Wait. What? Koberger was released with a verbal warning. The Hancock County Sheriff also says there was no information at the time about a suspect in Idaho. The sheriff is not releasing its body cam video because he says it's part of the ongoing criminal investigation in Idaho. What did he catch in that body cam?
Maybe his hands or something.
Well, that's interesting that they released this one and not the other one.
Yep.
What?
Or maybe they brought up the Idaho murders and talked about it.
Oh, shit.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they released one and not the other.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he went to the driver's side on that one, possibly.
Maybe.
Or they caught something in the car. This guy's body cam is facing down most of the time, so it's not as important. The other one, they don't even ask for his ID or nothing in this one. Nothing.
No.
Well, he did at the very beginning. He said, "Can I see your ID?" But then he doesn't get it.
Yeah, no, he just keeps going.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Can you see any injuries on his face or hands? Not like obvious. No, I did not see any. There has to be DNA in the car. I would believe that to be true. Yes, that there has to be DNA in the car. They did get the search warrant. Because the cop in that press conference was talking about the 3 search warrants. One's for the car, one's for him, and one is for the house. That's what they did. And then you have the other search warrants that were issued in Washington for his apartment and for his office. Those are the ones we know of. That's 5 search warrants. They always go through the passenger window if driving in this direction. They're supposed to, but they don't always, unfortunately. But they're supposed to go through the passenger side because of accidents on the highways where people end up hitting the officers because they're standing on the passenger side or standing on the driver's side. So
I know it doesn't really mean anything, but I also find it interesting. He's following too closely, so he's one of those people that'll get on your butt until you move over, like force you to get in the other lane. I cannot stand that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mindy. I do not believe they knew who he was when he left. They would not have let him leave because then all these other things are happening. I think they would have gotten him then. I don't think they knew yet. I think they probably found out once he was there, or potentially on his way there. But I do not think they knew it was him.
I'm just, it just kind of bugs me a little that they put this out around December 7th to be looking for that car. It wouldn't, because in one of
But
the
he's got
press
Washington plates. And so I mean, he's got Washington plates. So I guess unless you're like familiar with the fact that WSU is right next to, Idaho State, like I don't know how you would put two and two together. The guy's from Washington.
That's true.
And it's a 2015, and they put out that they're looking for a 2011 to 2013. So it's not the car,
I agree. Yes, Mallory had mentioned that, and it seems like that's prolonged people calling in on him for a while.
I'd be interested to know if he went home for Thanksgiving.
Well, I doubt it because I feel like if he would have flown, we would have heard about that by now. Let's see.
Yeah, a lot of cops have been hit. They needed time for the legal stuff to happen. Well, I think, they needed to match. They needed the match to happen, and I think they got the match. He was already in Pennsylvania. That's my opinion. They had him in their sights long before Christmas. Well, we know that they had him at least 4 days before the 30th, so that puts us at the 26th. I'm going to say they probably did know. What was the date that I told you, Mal? I think I said the 23rd or 24th.
Yeah.
I think is when they found out who he was. Most East Coasters go home for one of the two holidays, but not both. Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't think he went home for Thanksgiving. If that's such a long trip, and he's not going to fly because he would leave that car there. So if he did go home, he definitely would have drove that car back. Yeah, I don't think he
thinks
did.
that the first stop, we're not going to get the body cam because possibly they placed a tracker on the car.
Oh,
I mean,
that
it's
maybe.
definitely possible. I just don't think they knew it was him yet. And both statements from police, from the sheriff's department and the Idaho or Indiana State Police, both say they did not know anything about the car at the time of the stop. So, yeah, where was he for Thanksgiving? Did he just stay in his apartment all by himself? I wonder if any cops ran his plates and didn't pull him over because the car was a 2015 instead of an 11 to 13. Possible. Plus the plates were basically brand new. He had just had them switched over on the 18th of November. They were Pennsylvania. It was a Pennsylvania car. And then he switched them. A neighbor came out saying he was home during Thanksgiving break. Oh, okay.
I haven't seen that.
Well, we know that neighbor came out talking about all the noise that he would make and that he would be like vacuuming and stuff at like weird hours. How could it be part of this case? I think there's plenty of ways. If the body cam captured any type of evidence whatsoever, if it captured blood spots, blood spatter, or not blood spatter, but like just blood stains in the car, on the car, if it caught, him, if he brings up the Idaho case, if he has cuts on his hands. I mean, there could so many things. The camera caught anything along those lines, they would make it, but this one does not. You can see it doesn't catch. It doesn't even hardly catch him. Now, the bolo for the car never mentioned Washington plates. It didn't mention any plates. It had unknown plates when they put the bolo out. It was an 11 to 13 white Hyundai Elantra, plates unknown.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking, like, unless you know how close Washington and Idaho, those two universities are, like, I don't know if you would really put together, like, this car's from Washington and there's this, 4 people were unalived in Idaho. I don't know if you would put that together.
Well, and also, isn't the car in his
Highly
father's
defamatory.
name? It's not in Brian's name, I
It's
don't
in
think.
his name. He's the one who got it registered in Washington. If the car was in his dad's name, it'd be registered in Pennsylvania. I don't really know where that whole thing came from. Everything I saw, the dad has a Kia.
Okay. I do think that you're right though. Like whatever was picked up on that body cam, something was inside the car that was caught on camera. Or maybe something they said. I would think more along the lines of something was spotted in there.
Yeah.
What
His
if he
dad
had
mentions
like
WSU and he mentions the guy who barricaded himself in that apartment next to there. So like did his dad think he was flying out to like protect him? I mean that guy's gone, so I don't know. That's just weird. Where'd sleuths go? I just saw you had a
I forgot
question.
about that. How close was that to Brian, I wonder?
Probably not
Like
that far.
where he lives.
Here's my question. Why take the car all the way to Pennsylvania? That's so costly in today's world. Because apparently they have an issue with flying, according to the cop who thinks they might. I mean, I don't know. My assumption is that he was going to be home for a long time because, I mean, college classes don't start. I mean, if I was enrolled in spring, we wouldn't be starting till last week of January, first week of February. So you're done at college for, it's not like a high school where you're only off for like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? You're off for almost 2 months. He probably wanted his car home so he could drive around. They probably don't have extra cars laying around.
Well, and just in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I don't think he was going to take that car back.
But then why change it to registering it in Washington?
I think that was just to throw police off.
Why take the car to the crime scene? You're a criminology major. Why would you take your own car to the crime scene?
So I don't understand that part either. But I wonder if he parked a ways up because according to his friend, he jogs 7 miles a day anyway, so it's nothing for him. Maybe he didn't really go to the actual house, but maybe he parked on Linda Lane or somewhere like that, where he would be spotted. Because I know he was picked up on the car was picked up, but maybe he walked a distance. I don't know. I never thought the person would drive to the scene. I was shocked to hear that.
Let's see. Look at his knuckle. Look at the knuckle on his knee. It looks like a cut. All right, let me look real quick. Wait, is this the one? No, this isn't the one we're looking at. We're looking at this one. Nope, we're not. We're looking at the other one that I just said. We're looking at that one? No, we're looking at this one. Like right here, you think?
I saw that too.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm thinking that there probably is. That could be easily a shadow of a line that's on the windshield. I don't know. That's going to be. And the thing on his lap is a shadow.
On the top part of his hand, that looks like a vein bulging out.
Right there. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I don't see anything. I mean, that could be something right there, but there's just it's not clean enough to be able to say that.
Yeah.
And I do think if they had something in this video that was of significance, then we would not be looking at it.
I was thinking cuts on his hands would be on the inside. Like where maybe if the blade slipped or something. I wasn't thinking along the lines of maybe the outside of his hands, more so the inside, and which would, I mean, look at the position of his hands. It's almost like he's trying to hide his palms.
It could be. I mean, if he did have a cut, it could be on the inside. It could be at the end, or it would be on his other hand that he accidentally hits. But somebody said look down towards his waist, like here, like this area. I see the seatbelt. I just don't see anything besides the look on his face. I just don't see anything that's going like stands out to me.
Yeah.
Maybe hair of the victims in his car somewhere, fibers. That's what I'm thinking. Like with the other one, did they see something in the car that could be part of evidence?
Well,
Okay.
if he, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so I just got a response, and they don't have body cam supposedly for the day he got pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt.
Oh, are you serious?
Says your public records request is complete, and this office has no public records responsive to your request.
Okay, so there's no video of him being pulled over in August. That sucks.
Unless I did it wrong, but yeah, that's what I just got from Idaho.
Yeah, maybe his dad brought up the Idaho killing. Yeah, that's possible. Hi, 949 Sherry. They didn't. They didn't choose the most flattering angle for this photo of them either. I know. Well, this is really all you get because the body cam faces the ground in the car.
I was thinking if he had a target, if there was a target, in the other body cam, he could have taken something from one of the, his target, and maybe they spotted it in the back seat or something. Easy to say to your dad, well, oh, that's just one of my friends that I hang out with. She left it in my car.
Just above his shirt, ending to the outside of his wrist. Right over here, or right on the right or the left? Just above his shirt, ending to the outside of his wrist. Can you zoom? Like right here? That just looks like his wrist shadow. I think that might be what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a shadow. I don't think that's a cut. If there was something blatant like that, I'm with T. I think they would have withheld this.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
They probably had somebody like go through this with a fine-tooth comb before they decided to make it public.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. And I mean, it's not like it's the best cameras anyway, but I just don't see anything. Nothing stands out to me that I'm like, like if he was wearing a bandage or something,
Yeah. Guys, I gotta jump down and go have dinner, but thank you for having me up.
Dinner.
today.
I haven't even had breakfast.
Ugh.
I haven't had
I'm
breakfast. I haven't had lunch. I have to end this. This lie's been 3 hours plus. If you missed it earlier, we did an interview with the crime scene cleaners, who told us some fascinating stories. Plus, talked about Idaho Four for a little bit and what it would be like to clean up that crime scene. So if you guys missed that, there's a separate live that we did with just that. So, yeah, but I've got to go eat something. I'm like starving.
Oh God. I love you guys.
Love you. Are you going live later, Britt?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. If Mallory can come and any of my people can come help me, and if you want to come up,
Yeah, I'll
All
be
right, we'll
there.
see you.
I'm gonna try to take one for the team.
I know Alex Erickson has a live scheduled for about 49 minutes from now.
Oh,
So
cool.
make sure you guys at 3:30 my time, so which is Pacific. So get some rest, Britt, so that way you're ready to go later. But I know that Alex Erickson, if you guys aren't over there, if you guys aren't subbed over there, make sure you go watch her at 3:30. And it's like, holy smokes, it's been a day. So, but once again, thank you guys for spending the day with me or your evening. For some people who are about to go eat dinner, Mallory. Thank you for popping up. Christine, I don't know if you're still listening or not, but thank you so much for setting that interview up with them. It was amazing. It was so much great information. Thank you, Mods, for being here. Sleuths, thank you for doing all your sleuthing that you do, because you found all kinds of good stuff. But I will probably be in Allie's a little bit later, and then I'll probably pop into Brittany's tonight if she's live. Other than that, I will see you on the next one.
Love you guys. See y'all tonight.
Bye.
Bye.